Hello, there we are. Good morning, everybody. I forgot to do that because, it's such a busy morning here in Washington, D.C. And
something's going on?
You know why?
What
There's
do you mean?
like too many parties, I think. I think I'm hungover just from the stench from downtown.
Getting a
of all the
contact high?
booze. I am. Like, there were so many parties last night, this whole weekend, actually, across Washington, D.C. Everybody who's anybody in politics is in town and partying in Washington, D.C. Obviously, I dressed up for today's occasion, Ted.
Yeah, I can tell. You're wearing your finest fleece.
I am. This is my winter garb. I am Manila Chan, by the way, and that is Ted Rall. You are tuned in to the Ted Manila Information Show, or TMI for short, where we bring you too much information. I mean, we talk about hot topics, news, politics, lifestyle, fashion, because that's a big thing today. Fashion for the ladies.
Especially with us. I mean,
yes,
as two of America's premier fashion influencers.
Clearly, look at us, Ted.
That's been the big problem. That's honestly, I know people were lost while TikTok was down for yesterday.
14 hours.
For those 14 hours, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, where's Ted in Manila?" I don't know. I won't know what to wear.
I won't.
So that's why there were all those people wandering around naked yesterday. That's because of us. Sorry.
I have a fleece sweater for every day of the week, as you know. And today I'm going with gray. I'm sending a message, Ted.
Gray? It looks like greenish gray to me.
You can't be colorblind. It's gray.
I'm not colorblind. I know if I were colorblind, I wouldn't know, right? But
well, yeah. No, this is
looks
gray.
Greenish gray to me, not gray.
No, like full on gray. Because this is like this inauguration of Donald Trump is kind of in this gray zone. Shout out to Max Blumenthal for his gray zone. But this is kind of in the gray zone of what this incoming administration is going to be. I think this is what I'm signaling by going with gray today. And of course, people don't, men, they right there.
Well, I'm signaling is with horizontal stripes that I will be in prison at some point. So, yeah.
You think you will? Trump will seek vengeance. You don't think Biden gave you a pre-pardon?
No, I checked my mail this morning. No pre-pardon, no pardon or whatever it was.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, see, we talk about all that stuff, random stuff, all the stuff you're going to talk about with your colleagues, which you probably shouldn't because you'll probably end up stabbing each other at the office kitchen. But anything and everything goes because we believe you can't have too much information. So if you're looking for that straight-laced button-down show, this is not it. I will warn you guys that we do allow cursing on the show. So if you have the volume up and you're around kids or you're at the office, maybe.
Who's at the office? No one's at the office.
There are people. Private sector people are in the office.
Yeah, and they're all elbow to elbow, little millennials and Gen Zers, and they're all elbow to elbow, and they all have headphones on, and they're all like typing and ignoring each other because they're all under tremendous stress being so close to each other.
Having to see other humans face to face is very weird for the Gen Zers, just saying.
That's true.
We are live, of course, every Monday through Friday. That's why we're here, despite it being MLK Day. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. So please be sure to like and follow the show. The show is like slowly but surely getting to our marks that we need to be for YouTube in order to get actual monetization so we can actually start earning a living. Me and Ted and producer Robbie, that would be great. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys are watching on YouTube. If you hit that subscribe button so we can, the monolith that is streaming world is pretty much 90% controlled by YouTube. So we really need your support there. And of course, we have steady, awesome support with our friends in Rumble and the Rumble Room. We really appreciate those folks as well. Make sure you guys over there hit that like button so that way it tells the algorithm that.
Although I got to say, I know you're on Team Rumble. You always have been. Yeah. But I got to say, the numbers are better on YouTube. The Rumblers are not stepping up.
Because there's more people.
You're going to use demographics and statistics to.
I'm going to use math
win your argument.
I'm gonna use math on you, given that there's like
No.
1 billion users on YouTube and a fraction of that on Rumble. Just saying.
Don't be like, now that, you do know Trump's about to take office, so facts are in the rearview mirror. We're not numbers, facts. Remember, Russo-Ukrainian war is going to be resolved by this evening, according to Trump. So.
Well, no, 24 hours. So if he's in his
by the time we do the show tomorrow, Zelensky and Putin will be making sweet love.
He gets sworn in at noon. So by noon tomorrow, after the show.
Mm-hmm. That's
John Boehner. Okay, I'm watching like all these the things happening at the Capitol Rotunda, and like John Boehner is there, Newt Gingrich and Callista.
John Boehner, I wonder what he's been up to all these years.
Like, why is he? He's still very tan. He looks good. He looks good, actually. Given, I mean, he's older now. He looks good. Good for him. Callista, she looks great.
Who's
I don't know
Callista?
How Newt landed her. Callista Gingrich.
Oh God, is she the daughter or the wife?
The wife. She looks great. I don't know how that big old ham head ever landed Callista, but I don't know. Good for him. They look great. Also, as we know, the inauguration, the official ceremony has moved indoors because it is bitterly cold outside. Producer Robbie's rolling his eyes. I know, because he's in Montana, where it's like always
it's summer for him.
For him, if he was in this temperature, he'd be in cargo shorts and flip flops. I get it, but us transient DCers, we're like, dude, the temperature's in the teens. We're gonna die.
Well, I know. It's like, I guess they're trying to avoid an 1840 type situation, right? You know what happened.
Yes. Which is what's his face? Which president was that?
William Henry Harrison.
That I'm not going to joke about pneumonia, Ted, because
don't.
And the audience knows. You guys know. If you follow the show, I'm going to be like the last person to criticize anybody with pneumonia and how you get sick. Not going there. No wonder homeboy died, a month later. So,
and the thing is, he was not a puss, right? I mean, William Henry Harrison had fought Indian campaigns. He was a general. He was, this was not like now when generals don't fight. This was like, he was on a horse, out in the sticks, like, getting, kicking ass and taking names and getting his ass kicked too. So he was not a wuss. And then, he was giving I guess it was also a very long day of ceremony, and it was in March. Back then, it was in March.
Sure.
And anyway, he caught a
January. This one was still in January. I have the notes pulled up.
Oh, is that true?
Here. I'm gonna read it to you.
At one point, the inauguration was in March.
It was after him. So it says the longest inaugural address in U.S. history was delivered by William Henry Harrison, whose speech ran 8,445 words after speaking for nearly 2 hours without a coat or hat on a wet and chilly Washington day in January 1841. Harrison fell ill, developed pneumonia, and died a month later. The shortest inaugural was by George Washington's,
that was our shortest presidency.
Washington's second inaugural, which ran just 135 words.
That's basically a tweet. That's like, thanks, my homes. See ya.
Thanks, bros, for the second term.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Yeah.
So George Washington, how about that? But that's what happened to President Harrison, was in his second term, because he stayed out. He stood in the freezing cold of a Washington January.
It's his own fault. That long speech killed him. If he'd cut that thing short, he might still be alive.
He might still be alive today, because he was tough as nails.
Although if you're, a lengthy speech can also save your life. Do you know what I'm talking about? 1912.
1912. From a lengthy speech, no.
Dun, 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 dun. Theodore Roosevelt was running was running for a third term Bull Moose Party progressive candidate.
Oh, I do know.
An assassin shot him, and he, as was the text of his speech was folded under his coat. Back then, they used to pull out a page at a time, read it, throw it on the ground. And he hadn't gotten through much of it. And he was a long-winded dude. He had a long speech, and the bullet was slowed by the papers in his pocket. And it did impact him, but not enough to kill him. And
it was like a bulletproof vest.
And he got up, exactly. And he got up, and he'd been shot. He was bleeding.
Right.
And
totally survived.
And then he announced to the convention hall, "It takes more than that to bring down a bull moose," and the crowd went wild.
Amazing.
And he finished his speech. I think he talked another hour, maybe, or maybe even more. And then finally, it was like, they were like, "Mr. President, you have to go," and they took him to the hospital to patch him up.
I forgot about that story, but yes, that is like.
So a long speech can save you, or it can kill you.
Well, yeah, but he was indoors at a convention center.
Well, yeah.
So you can, it's easier to go long-winded when you're indoors.
That's true. Not to mention, I think this happened. I don't think this happened during inclement weather anyway. I think this was a normal time.
Wasn't it like the World's Fair or something?
Something like that.
So yeah, it was like an international thing.
Columbian exposition type thing.
Like a World's Fair type thing. And there you go. While we're talking, I'm going to throw this up there. I just want people to see. Look at Javier Milei. There was John Boehner. Javier Milei is there.
Javier Milei, don't you have some austerity to be imposing?
Well, he fixed Argentina.
Well, he fixed it all right.
It's all fixed now. So now he can go travel and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, that's what a.
I'm still going to call. I'm going to call wuss on Trump for you call yourself a New Yorker. Oh, you're a little cold in Washington. Yeah. Can't sit outside.
Well, it's not for him.
Can you imagine Bernie? Bernie would have been really cold. Remember the picture of him with his mittens? Yeah. This is for. I bet he did this for Bernie.
I think it was more for the guests, because I'm sure there are a lot of donors that were that are probably not as robust in health as they could be. If I was one of them, I'd appreciate that. I think everybody appreciates being indoors, except for the tens of thousands of people that are freezing their butts off on the National Mall.
Yeah, and also all the podcasters and news people who are outside at desks. Yes. And they're meant to keep warm with a scarf loosely draped around their necks. Dozens of them are going to be dead tomorrow, but whatever.
From pneumonia. Yeah. I'm just telling you from personal experience, having done stuff like this at events where the important people get to be inside and then you're stuck outside in the freezing cold as a reporter. They even in an official press box area or press, holding area, they don't do anything special for us, Ted. They don't give a flying fuck.
No,
they don't even give us a tent when it's raining. They don't even have a covered thing. They don't have a tent. They don't have a warming area when it's ice cold like this. They don't even bring out those heaters that you would find at some bar or lounge patio, right? They don't even have that for us. You're left to your own devices, and if you're gonna catch pneumonia, you catch pneumonia. They don't give a shit.
Apparently,
but for all the dignitaries,
it looks like Biden tried to shake Trump's hand, but was rebuffed. Apparently,
he showed up at the White House a little while ago. All right, so with that, I think we should probably get into headlines. But this is obviously the main topic of the day. It's probably going to be the main topic of the week, because supposedly Trump is just going to slash this and sign that and end this and start that all in the first week. So I think that's it. Let's hop to the news.
Let's do it. Breaking this morning, outgoing President Biden has pardoned Dr. Anthony Fauci, retired General Mark Milley, and members of the House committee that investigated the January 6th attack, using the extraordinary powers of his office in the final hours to guard against potential revenge by Trump. The decision by Biden came after Trump warned of an enemies list filled with those who have crossed him politically or wanted to hold him accountable for his attempt to overthrow the election and his role in the January storming of the Capitol. Trump has selected cabinet nominees who backed his election story and have pledged to punish those involved in efforts to investigate him. The issuance of these pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that any individual engaged in any wrongdoing nor should any acceptance be misconstrued as an admission of guilt for any offense. Biden's statement says, our nation owes these public servants a debt of gratitude for their tireless commitment to our country. Okay, like many things that politicians say, this is false. When you accept a presidential pardon, you implicitly accept that you are culpable of whatever it is that you're being pardoned for.
It's a tacit admission.
It's not even that tacit. You have to sign something saying, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa, I suck, thank you for forgiving me, kind of.
I totally fucked up.
Yeah.
Basically.
And so I don't know. I mean, preemptive pardon, strange idea. Like, sort of like, you know, it's like none of these people have been charged with anything. I mean, I think Liz Cheney is obviously just guilty of being Liz Cheney, and that's really should
that
be
in and of itself is a crime.
Capital offense for sure. You know, but that's I don't know, but she's Fauci. None of them have been charged with anything. So what this means is that they are, if they've actually committed, let's say a crime that we would all recognize as a crime, like a non-controversial crime, like Fauci's like robbing banks secretly or something.
But witness tampering, Liz Cheney witness tampered.
Well, that's a great example. Yeah. Well, that's
really what it is.
But that would be controversial as to whether or not that's, I mean, I agree with you, but I think she did it. But the point is that, and I think it's wrong, but I think people would debate that. But what's funny here is that, like, if we discover that, like, say, Liz Cheney is molesting children, now there's nothing that can be done about it.
Right. Well, I mean, we haven't seen the details of, so he pardons like the whole J6 committee, which includes Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, and obviously Mark Millie. How is he not in trouble for literally going behind Trump's back and talking to the Xi Jinping government, the Chinese, and God only knows. That's what we know about. God only knows what other, foreign.
What about war crimes in Afghanistan and stuff like
that?
Right,
like we don't know, right? Like, it's not out there yet, but we do know for a fact that Mark Millie went behind Trump's back and was talking to the Chinese, like that. He's not supposed to do that. Like, that's taboo. But somehow he's not charged with treason. That seems almost treasonous to me.
Treason's a high bar. I mean, I'd say even if he's guilty, it's not treason, but it's definitely.
Well, they're trying to charge Trump with treason for having documents stored in a spare bathroom at Mar-a-Lago.
That's also not treason.
Right. So the bar is pretty low, I would say, Ted. Just the opposite.
Got to keep going here. We got stuff to say. We got stuff here. TikTok announced that it's restoring service. I think the service is probably largely up by this point. That was just hours after Trump said that he would sign an executive order today in order to delay enforcing the ban on TikTok. But anyway, TikTok went dark Saturday night. By Sunday afternoon, most users were able to use it again, complete with a notification thanking Trump for TikTok is back in the U.S. Trump, who once wanted to see TikTok banned when he was president, has spent weeks pushing for the app to be saved. As the deadline decided by a bipartisan law approached, that deadline was yesterday. TikTok said it was resuming services as Trump's Sunday post on the matter provided the necessary clarity and assurance to our service providers that they will face no penalties, providing TikTok to over 170 million Americans. The still looming ban, however, has inspired some users to embrace an even more overtly Chinese app. Well, it's not a Chinese app at all, actually. It's a Singaporean app.
No. They're saying embracing a real Chinese
but when
app.
It says an even more overtly, anything's more overtly Chinese. I mean, there's nothing. TikTok's as Chinese as I am. It's not Chinese. Right. Enter Xiaohongshu, known as in English as Red Note.
It's like Panda Express, Ted.
A Shanghai-based social media platform that has become the new haven for self-proclaimed TikTok refugees. With downloads now 20 times over normal in just a week, Red Note is now the most downloaded app in the Apple Store, and users are diving head first into its lifestyle-focused content. Some users are even learning Mandarin to navigate the platform. Oh yeah, you learned Mandarin in a week. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Not even a week. Yeah, like
A
5
language
days, 4
that Mao
days.
Zedong, who was a very accomplished poet, said was ridiculously hard for Chinese people to learn. Anyway,
Yes.
I learned Mandarin over the weekend. Like,
Like, oh, what'd you do? Hey, Ted,
yeah.
what'd you do this weekend?
Well, if someone can learn Mandarin in a week, I want them to be like president of everything. Okay, because like,
Yeah,
see,
come
they have an
on.
IQ of like 5,000. Anyway, so we got to talk a little bit about this. I mean, I got to tell you, Manila, I find this story very depressing on a number of levels. First of all, second tertiary level, I don't understand like how Trump can overturn this without an act of Congress. This was a stupid bill, a bad bill. This Congress
that is bipartisan, by the way. We should point out.
Yeah, overwhelmingly bipartisan.
Hugely.
And no evidence has ever been presented to the American people justifying why this massive sweeping ban had to take place. And then what really was disturbing to me was that the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 9-0 unanimously that TikTok doesn't have any First Amendment rights because it's a foreign entity. Now, okay, never mind the fact that 20% of the owners are American citizens. Never mind the fact that 170 million Americans use it. That's just not true, okay? So let's just say TikTok was owned by the Chinese Communist Party, which it is not. But let's say it was. And let's say that all the users were degenerate, criminal, illegal immigrant, non-U.S. citizens, all child porn, like my cartoonist colleague who is in jail right now. Like they're all like scoundrels and turds. It doesn't matter. The Bill of Rights covers any living, breathing human being, including people in prison in the United States. I mean, they have First Amendment rights. So any service like that that's doing business here has First Amendment rights.
And I thought businesses were people.
That's true. Well, they are people. They're entities that are like people. So the point is that it's just not true. The Supreme Court basically overlooked one of the foundational tenets of the American constitutional system, dating all the way back to the very beginning of the Constitution. It's insane. And they basically were like, this is like, well, government can do whatever the fuck they want. Fuck the Bill of Rights. I mean,
right.
I mean, it's outrageous, and I'm glad Trump wants to do something about it, but I don't really know what he can do. The only thing he really can do is go to Congress, and I mean, technically, what just happened over the last 24 hours broke the law. Okay,
it's not going to work. It's not.
But they have to get Congress to overrule themselves, and I don't think they will.
Exactly. No, of course not, because it's bipartisan consensus, like overwhelming. I think only a handful, like maybe a dozen congressmen or Congress and senators, maybe a dozen at most, objected to this. This is overwhelming bipartisan support. Biden signed this ban into law a year ago. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, this old jerk here on his way out. I mean, I'm not a fan of TikTok. I don't care. I'm not part of the demo.
I don't care either. I don't have it. I don't even have the app. I tried to figure it out. It's like,
yeah, I've perused it literally maybe.
I don't really understand the appeal at all.
A few times. Yeah, it's not for me. It's not I'm a Pinterest person. I'm an XX chromosome, okay, Ted? Leave me alone.
Yeah, to the extent that, I mean, Twitter is probably the closest to a social media platform that I care about because it's more political.
Right, I agree. So, TikTok's not my thing, but still, because it's a freedom of speech thing, I stood with the millions of Americans this weekend and downloaded Red Note because, look.
Did you look at it? What's it like?
Yeah, no, I really liked it. I spent a lot of Saturday scrolling and interacting with people. But first, let me establish why millions of Americans flocked over there. Not only because, like, I'm not a content creator, obviously. I should be, because technically this is what we're doing. We're creating content here. But
yes,
I think in the digital world of content creators, those are more of like, that's what the TikTokers do, right? Mm-hmm. Like short form. That's usually more of who they consider a content creator. I'm not one of those people. You aren't one of those people. Like, we're more long format, obviously. Traditional video, traditional streaming. Because, from like 10 years ago, traditional, Ted, I'm just saying, that's how old, our streaming background goes, right? But the young people now are these content creators and have built themselves small businesses and make a living doing this, great to small, right? But as we know, Joe Biden wanted to go after all of these people, including your $600 that you make on Etsy. Maybe you make an extra $1,000 a month, hawking skincare or whatever, right? What's that stuff? Women with the pink Cadillacs. Oh God.
Mary Kay Cosmetics.
Right. Imagine chicks on TikTok doing the Mary Kay type stuff, right? Biden wanted to go after those people. It's been proven that to me, Ted, he wanted to go after. He didn't care that he harmed these young or small creators that make a side hustle on TikTok. There's been no proven, at least not to us, national security threat. Nothing has been established. And then so he goes after them, and this becomes like a huge backfire because people like me and the millions of people who actually understand how social media works, because it's not me, we all know, Ted, that it is a complete farce, that if you think that you have any sort of digital life, right? If you have made a digital transaction buying something from Amazon or Temu or Wish, you have a digital subscription somewhere to, let's say, the New York Times. If you think, unless you're completely like Jesse Ventura living off the grid, if you think you have any semblance of online privacy and security, you're nuts. Like, I don't care if you have a VPN, somewhere out there your information is floating around, and at the end of the day,
it's in Mountain View, California. It's in Palo Alto, California.
If you have a cell phone,
it's in Cupertino, California,
right?
And it's in an NSA data farm in Nevada.
Yes, you do not have any security to your data. So I don't know why Congress and Biden keep insisting, like, oh, we want to protect Americans' data. It's national security.
How about start with the NSA? How about that?
Right. Like, it's a matter of who can control the social media company, any said social media company, X, let's say, not X Twitter. I mean, social media company X, like, let's say in this case, Meta. It's been proven, as well as the old Twitter, it's been proven that the US government can indeed control a private social media platform. It's been proven to us. Mark Zuckerberg told us from the horse's mouth,
does. Yeah.
And does. So the fact that they cannot control TikTok because it's some kind of Asian company, we don't know what yet, Ted. It's Singaporean, Malay, I don't know. Asian
is
something
a real
controlled.
country? No, I'm just joking. But I mean, people don't really know what it maybe is. Yeah,
we don't know. Maybe it's in the Maldives. We don't even know. Like, no idea. But it's some Asian country controlled, and that means the USG cannot control them. That's the problem. That's what it boils down to. And maybe there's a little influence, sure, about Israel, Palestine stuff. Maybe there's some other total net influence problems going on about who gets to advertise where and whatever. But the bottom line is it's about data control and content moderation and manipulation. And when you are based out of wherever in Asia, the USG can't control that, like they do with Mark Zuckerberg, who's like an NPC, and you just type in whatever code to make Mark do whatever to animate him. You can't do that with TikTok, and that's why the beef. That's True. What's the beef.
All right, we better keep going here. All right, displaced people have been seen returning to Rafah. That's, of course, in the northern Gaza Strip as of earlier today. This is day 2 of the ceasefire. The deal stipulates a pause in fighting and the release of 3 Israeli captives. That has happened, and about 90 Palestinian, I'm going to call them hostages, that were held by Israel. That, according to Al Jazeera. Romy Gonen, Emily Damari, and Doron Steinbrecher were collected, strange word, and transported by the Red Cross and transferred to the IDF.
They were alive, right?
They were alive. They were alive. They were.
Returning dead.
Hopefully the IDF
hostages.
doesn't get confused and think they're Palestinian and just starts killing them, because that's what they do.
Bad.
But as the truce took effect, no, in all seriousness, it's good that they're home. Same thing.
Like I'm happy for them.
As the truce took effect, displaced people returned to their homes across Gaza following the withdrawal of the Israeli army. Seeing these images, Manila, I'm always kind of amazed at like how quickly people respond to it. I mean, if it were me after everything that's happened, I might be like, let's see if this sticks. Maybe maybe we'll chill here in our UN tent for another couple of days, and then we'll see. We'll make our way down there. See, what if we just go down there and the Israelis open fire on us, because they do that.
It's happened. I mean, it's literally been established that
they're in a rush, though.
Happen.
They're like, let's go back right away. There must be people who are hanging. Although it's probably also like, if there's anything left of our house that hasn't been looted, we want to get back there and save it before other people show up and steal what we had. But I think realistically, you don't have anything. We got to keep moving. We've got our guest Steve Gill waiting on the line. South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk Yeol spent his first night incarcerated in jail at the Seoul Detention Center after a court issued a formal detention warrant to hold him up to 20 days. He's the first incumbent president to get arrested in South Korea, and he was detained for 48 hours. This is, of course, over his attempt to declare martial law on December 3rd, which lasted about as long as the TikTok ban. After he was processed, Yoon was moved to the General Detention Center, where he was allocated a solitary cell about 129 square feet. That's pretty big, actually. That's 12 square meters. I mean,
12
meters.
I don't know what meters are.
Oh, a meter's a yard. So a square, right? Basically, a meter is 39.37 inches. So
roughly a yard. Okay, so roughly a yard. 12.
A little bigger than a yard. So it's basically like something that is 3 by. It's like basically 3 by 4 yards. So think of something that's about 9.5 feet long by maybe 14 feet wide, something like that. I mean, that's pretty big for a cell.
It's a good size room. Okay.
The Seoul Detention Center is in the city of Uwang, 14 miles south of the city. Previously held such high-profile figures as former President Park Geun-hye, it's the presidential suite, and Samsung Electronics chairman Jay Lee. Let's move on to our last story. CNN.
No, Steve's not there yet. So
he's not?
Fine.
Okay. All right.
No.
Right.
So a couple of things to say this. So what's happening here, like this footage here is from a couple of years ago. Do you remember when President Yoon came here and started singing Miss American Pie? This is what we're looking at here. So this is, in case anybody was confused, this is not a Korean torture video where President Yoon is forced to hang out with Joe Biden all night, although that could be considered against UN human rights. So, but that's what we're looking at here. Better times when Biden was like hosting him at the White House. And then the sudden turn of events for this guy. I thought, first of all, I knew he was batshit crazy when he did this. I know the Koreans love them some karaoke. I know that, but it's kind of batshit crazy for a president. It's not very presidential, is all I'll say. Look at this. Waving American flags all over the place. Why? Why, Ted?
It's very, very strange. Okay. One more.
Why are these people doing that?
CNN has reached a settlement with a security contractor as of on Friday after a Florida jury found the network had defamed him by suggesting that he was charging exorbitant prices to evacuate people from Afghanistan in August 2021. Details of the settlement have not yet been disclosed, but jurors found that the network ought to pay $5 million to Zachary Young. He's a Navy vet, for his lost finances and suffering because of the CNN report, and said that he would be getting even more money in punitive damages when they got to that phase. We remain proud of our journalists, blah, 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 CNN said. CNN's story, which aired November 2021. By the way, they got they messed up in in their very arrogant testimony before the jury, where one reporter, for example, was asked, like, did it occur to you that your report might like really screw up this guy's life? And she said, yeah, no, I didn't really think about that. I was more concerned about the Afghans. And it was like, boom, like, don't say that. Like, you're not supposed to have your thumb on you're not supposed to have an agenda as a reporter. You're supposed to just be reporting. Anyway, the story, which came out in November of 2021, basically was about Afghans' concerns that they had to pay a lot of money in what they called a black market in order to get safe passage for their relatives and friends, especially for those people who had collaborated with the U.S. and were therefore considered targets of the Taliban. Young was the only security contractor that they talked about, and the caption warned that he offered no guarantee of safety or success. He was not directly accused of operating in a black market, but the words appeared in the caption, in the chyron. That appears to be one of the main things that went against them. At trial, CNN's people said that they claimed not to know what a black market was. They claimed that they thought that was just like an underground market, but a black market means illegal activity. It means, by definition, a black market is anything that takes place outside of the bounds of legality. There was no evidence whatsoever that Zachary Young ever did anything illegal. He just charged having been to and escaped from Afghanistan, I myself personally, I can say that it is expensive and hard to get people out of there in a situation like that, and so it wouldn't necessarily, even if he's charging a lot of money, it doesn't even mean he makes a lot of money. He might not make any money because he's going to have to throw $100 bills around to pay people to look the other way to get his people out. So, it's
this is a libel case, right, Ted?
It's a libel case. And Florida, as we saw with the Gawker case with Hulk Hogan, is friendlier to libel plaintiffs than a lot of jurisdictions. I have to say, I wish I'd sued the LA Times in Florida. I could have because of the internet, right? And I should have. Yeah. I really should have. I should have gone court shopping, but I was not, what's the word? Smart. So that's what happened.
All I'll say, because Steve is with us now. I see him in the virtual green room. All I'll say about this is CNN has for a very long time been trash. I've reported next to these people, literally physically standing next to them with my mic, their cameraman, my cameraman. And me and I've been next to Acosta. I've been next to just a slew of these people from mainstream media. And I know, because I've witnessed it firsthand, that they are trash. They are lying. It's like, I've turned around because I've seen like Acosta going live in front of the White House before me, and I'm standing next to him and I'm going, are we looking at the same White House? Are we looking like during the Trump years? And it was like, is this real? Like, are you? And so I've witnessed this firsthand. I know that they have gotten really flagrant and non-journalistic, and that is true about all the legacy media. It's across the board. So I'm hoping $5 million is nothing to CNN. But I'm hoping that this at least sends a little bit of a wake-up call to some of these mainstream outlets that they cannot get away with just continuing to do what they do, is continuing to say what they want about whomever they want, whenever they want. And the American people are very much over it. So I think that shows that. So yeah, that's it.
No, I mean, it's like, I'm glad to see these media organizations. Look, I don't want them to be sued and lose money, although I don't really care.
I do.
But what I want them to do is clean up their act and start, checking things out. And
those things are not mutually exclusive, Ted. Unfortunately, one thing point A leads to point B.
True.
They have to get hurt majorly, financially.
I agree.
Hugely,
otherwise, they won't change. They won't switch. They'll never change it up.
No, their business model is shit, and they've maligned too many people, including officials like Trump. I mean, people may not like it, but they've maligned wrongly.
Even that high school kid from Kentucky,
people. Right? Mm-hmm. Like that is some bullshit. That is unfair and unethical for the
It's
field
like,
that
do your
I chose
job.
to
Just
dedicate my life to. Like,
checks. I
it's
mean,
such an insult.
you're allowed to have an agenda. I mean, we all do. We're human beings. But it's like, but really play it straight. Report the facts. Get the facts. Make sure you're sure. If you're not sure, don't say it, or say you're not sure.
I want to see these big media companies bleed money, Ted. Bleed. I want them to just bleed and vomit and starve before.
I want them to think about the human consequences of what they're doing. I do.
They don't care. They don't care.
Well, they need to care.
They won't care until they bleed dry from money and advertisers run away. That's the only way to make them change course is you punch them where it hurts, and it's not in the balls. It is in the pocketbook.
I mean, you're right. You're totally right.
That's the only way. All right, with that, objectively, that is the only way.
Yeah, and even so, I mean, it doesn't always help because they have libel insurance, right? So
right. So
they don't really care that much.
The only way it hurts is when advertisers drop. And
Gawker was a really interesting case because it did kill them.
It's a lot of money, but they're not as big as, financially as CNN or NBC. So it's Gawker. But anyway, all right, let's hop over to our main story because I see our buddy in the background there. And of course, that's going to be the inauguration of some dude. So I don't know, Grover Cleveland or I don't know. Hold on.
I'm going to bring in the intro here. Donald Trump will become the first president since 1893 to return to office after having lost an election and then sitting out for 4 years. What can we expect from his second term, which begins in roughly an hour and 18 minutes? We're going to analyze the prospects for the new administration's economic policies and their chances for success amid a clear division within the Republican Party about whether to go with trickle-down economics or populist economics. What about those mass deportations? Not to mention the price of eggs. On foreign policy, Trump promised to fix the Ukraine war immediately, 24 hours after taking office. Will it be done by tomorrow at the time of this show? Will the first phase of the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas hold? And will there be a second and third one? How about a trade war with China? To break this all down is my former co-host and friend, Steve Gill, attorney and CEO of Gill Media, a Nashville, Tennessee-based public affairs, media, and marketing company. He also served as director of intergovernmental affairs for the U.S. Trade Representative. And of course, he used to co-host the Final Countdown on Radio Sputnik. Steve, thanks for joining us here on the TMI Show. Oops.
Hey guys, good to be with you. And Ted, remind me to never get on Manila's bad side. I mean, when she starts talking about punching, it makes me squeamish and squirmy.
Kick him in the balls!
Terrifying.
And who thought I would be the voice of reason and calm and compassion on the show today?
Look, for me, this media stuff is, literally, it's too close to home. It is home for me. And I'm just fed up with what's happened to the industry as a whole because I watched the sausage being made here in Washington the last 10 years, and it's just disgusting. It's more disgusting than the pink slime that they use to make chicken nuggets at McDonald's. Gross.
Well, in Manila, it cuts the credibility of all of us in this business because if you can't trust this host, you can't trust this reporter, then it just kind of bleeds over onto everybody. So it not only destroys the credibility of the industry, but it destroys everybody's credibility because we're met with more skepticism and, what's your agenda? Who's paying you off? Who's telling you to say whatever it is you're saying rather than those of us who at least try to speak the truth.
That's right. And where are you, by the way? Are you here in Washington?
I'm in Washington. I'm at the University Club, just a couple of blocks from the White House, in the library, trying to be relatively quiet, not in a whisper. But just a couple of blocks, and have been doing a full day of media thus far. I've got RT coming up. I've got GB News coming up, and another Talk TV London hit coming up. So all talk all the time.
Circuit. International circuit. Well, let's hop to it because we've only got you for about 15 more minutes. So before you have to do all these hits. So first order of business, Steve, what do you think? 24 hours, he said on the campaign trail, he's going to bring an end to the Ukraine war. Where do you think we're at on that?
I think that'll take a little bit longer. I think you're going to see the mass deportation start immediately. You're already seeing some of those heading out of the country as Tom Homan is making it clear that if we mass deport you, if we have to deport you, you're going to have at least a 10-year ban of even having a visa to come back into the United States for a visit. I think that's going to cause some people to say, I'd rather leave rather than get caught. And I think that for the criminal illegals, they're going to, you either self-deport, because if we catch you, you're not coming in even to visit your aunt, your uncle, or your kids. And then I think with the criminal violators, I mean, they're going to be wrapping them up, whether it's in Chicago, LA, New York. You're going to see real aggressive behavior there. Donald Trump is expected to do about 200 executive orders. I hope they have a lot of extra pens today. He'll be running out of ink about halfway through. But he's going to be doing about 200 executive orders, mainly reversing the Biden executive orders. It doesn't require legislative authority to do that. And it's going to take a little bit longer for legislative action to take place. It just takes a little bit longer for the House and Congress to get in, for the various folks to get confirmed.
So stuff like the student loan stuff that Biden did at the last minute, that's all gone.
Well, and the Supreme Court's already nixed that like 2 or 3 times. Much of what Biden has tried to do has been, knocked out by the Supreme Court, or by the fact that it's, just blatantly unconstitutional, kind of like declaring the Equal Rights Amendment having passed when it did not pass. Now, the pardons are another thing exactly, where he does this flurry of pardons of Fauci and Millie and all the January 6th, the Liz Cheneys and others. Those are a little bit more intractable, but keep in mind, that does not relieve them of civil liability. For example, Fauci can be sued out the yin-yang for the deaths that were caused by his misinformation. They can still be called before Congress to testify. And if they lie under oath, don't recant what they've said under oath before, don't admit to what they've done, they can be prosecuted for contempt of Congress, and this DOJ will pursue them. With General Miley, they can bring him back into active duty. They can still pursue him with a courts martial. They can strip him of rank, strip him of his retirement benefits, make sure he has 0 security clearance, and make it clear, this is if Steve Gill's working for President Trump, make it clear that any corporation that puts him on a board or hires him will be banned from any government contract for at least the next 4 years. You want to play games, boys? We can play too.
Wow. I didn't know a president could do, or administration could do all that. So there are other ways to punish people, this, outside of Joe Biden's literally historic pre-pardon.
There could be state charges too.
Yes. Yeah. Attorney generals, DAs. I mean, we've seen that in New York that, again, state charges are not prevented by pardon. And I think the other thing that, frankly, if I'm a member of Congress, I'm starting investigations today into the medical history. I'm subpoenaing doctors. I'm subpoenaing everybody that can know how much mental capacity does Joe Biden have. If I go sign a contract or sign a mortgage and I am not mentally capable, it gets thrown out. Is Joe Biden mentally capable to have signed these executive orders, these pardons, and let's at least run them through the mill of the questions of their doctors.
Right, these laws.
Yeah, they're illegitimate, and
could they be null and void?
They should be. If I go sign a contract or a mortgage or anything else, and I'm mentally incapacitated, I'm suffering from stage 4 dementia, it gets thrown out. They ought to at least bring the doctors. They ought to at least bring Jill Biden and Joe Biden to testify. Let's look at his mental capacity,
Steve,
and maybe throw these out.
More. As you know, we've talked about this on our show together. I couldn't agree more. But what I worry about is that there's self-interest here. Trump is as old as Biden was as he takes the oath of office. Obviously, I think he's in better shape than Biden was 4 years ago. But still, could it be that members of his administration might say, in 3 years, we don't know where we're going to be with 81-year-old President Trump. Maybe it's better not to establish any kind of precedent of an investigation that could be then turned against us.
I think, though, now you have members of the media and others that are saying, look, we knew 3 years ago the guy didn't have the capacity. Nobody's really questioning. In fact, Joe Biden has been clearly incapable for a long time. Donald Trump looks sharper now physically and mentally than he was 4 years and 8 years ago. So I don't think, even though the Democrats throw this kind of junk out there from time to time, I don't think anybody's seriously questioning his mental capacity. And I can't wait for the tell-all books to come out of those on the inside circle.
Do you think there's going to be a full investigation from the House Oversight Committee or anyone else? Or is it?
I hope they will. The problem is they've got such a full plate to deal with. and they're going to try to, within the next 100 days, get as much done on the legislative agenda. Keep in mind that they are today 2 votes short in the House of where they were. They're 218 because Matt Gaetz has resigned, previously. And now you have another Florida congressman, Tim Walz, who is not Tim, but Michael Waltz, who has resigned to assume a position with the Trump administration. So those will not be filled by special election until a Republican primary, I think in late January or February, and then April 1st for the general election. So the Republicans are going to be short at least 2 votes of where they want to be for at least the next couple of months.
Yeah, this is so what we're looking at on the screen for those that are listening. We're seeing the incoming administration file through into the interior of the rotunda where Trump's actual inauguration ceremony has been moved.
Did they have to kick Jimmy Carter's corpse out of there for this?
I think he's already been moved back to Plains. So I think he's not in the rotunda any longer.
Like, what if it's like, oh shit, we forgot to get rid of that?
Like, oh, Jimmy's still there. Crap.
They just shoved him over into the corner and said, hey, just put some flowers on top of that.
Miriam Adelson right
By
there
the way,
in the white.
Quick things to point out. You're Manila in Washington. You've been here. Both of you guys have been here a lot. I've never seen the security where it is in the vehicles that are moving the president around. They now have these anti-drone devices on top of the black SUVs.
We saw some of them. Yeah,
those are the anti-drone devices. And
they're like jammers, or what are they?
Yes. And you have Elon Musk and J.D. Vance staying just up the street at the Jefferson Hotel. They have large dump trucks filled with gravel and sand surrounding it to block any potential car bombs. So security is at a higher level than I have ever seen in this town.
I can't say that I'm surprised. It seems appropriate considering that this president-elect about to be president, has faced 2 major assassination attempts.
There's Pete Hegseth.
The other thing, by the way, Ted, I was tracking around some of your protester buddies on the street 2 days ago as they were brandishing their, feminists for Palestine, gays for Palestine. It's like, you guys really don't get what goes on in the Middle East. And then those that were brandishing and shouting in favor of communism and socialism. But I noticed all of the sales of Trump and inauguration gear on the streets and in the stores. Capitalism is winning. People are buying more stuff, despite what the protesters are screaming.
You can't protest capitalism away. You got to overthrow it violently. Seize the means of production.
You can't do that, Ted. There is over 30 miles of fencing around all of these these important landmarks where all these people, these important people. We're seeing Tulsi Gabbard filing right now. Vivek Ramaswamy. Kash Patel was before that. I don't know who the old dude is.
By the way, let's touch on Vivek for just a moment. I got to tell you, I've had a couple of meetings with Vivek. He is as good a politician as I've ever been around. I mean, I'm not saying he's.
I heard he wants to run for governor in Ohio.
He's going to go run for governor in Ohio. I think that the issue is that he and Elon were supposed to be like co-partners of Doge, but all the attention has been on Elon. And then the opportunity to pick up J.D. Vance's Senate seat in Ohio came in. Mike DeWine, the Rhino governor of Ohio, picks another Rhino to fill that spot. So Vivek says, fine, I'll just run for governor. It comes up in 2 years, 18 months until the primary. And I think Vivek is in prime position. And frankly, again, he's as good a politician one-on-one, work in a room as I have ever seen. He's brilliant. He's personable. He is honed in on whoever he's talking to at the time. But frankly, he's going to be a better governor than a senator. He's more of a one guy rather than a 1 of 100 guy. And I think that's
don't know if he can win in Ohio. I'm an Ohioan, as you know, Steve. I don't know if they can. I mean, okay, here, I hate to say this. I think it's the ethnic thing. I just don't see.
Really? Is it?
It could be. Really? Yeah. But a Trump endorsement will help. His charisma will help. But I don't disagree. You saw in Kentucky, Governor Beshear got reelected against a very strong African-American attorney general, very popular. But unless you're a former Kentucky basketball player, if you're black in Kentucky, you have an uphill climb.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So, I mean, that's fascinating to me.
I think in Ohio, better to be black than to be Indian, really.
Well, yeah, that's a minority of a minority to be.
There's a lot of black people in Ohio. Yeah.
But East Indian, not so much, right? So I was just talking last week about Vivek's book, Woke Inc., which if you haven't read it either, it really.
I have read it.
Yeah. Steve, I don't know if you've read it, but it really pulled the veil back on how wokeism worked and how it kind of was pervasive into the business world, which is, like into trade and stuff like that. This is your wheelhouse, and how it became a thing and became entrenched. And as we saw immediately with McDonald's of all companies, not long after Trump won, we started seeing Fortune 500 blue chip companies shedding their woke ideology, their woke ideals, shedding DEI programs. The FBI just shut their DEI. I think they had a whole wing or something at the Hoover building. They shut that all down last week. I mean, Christopher Wray is, he was obviously prepping to leave office. So DEI is fallen out of favor. Do you think that's going to be only with these Fortune 500 companies? And is that going to trickle all the way down across American society writ large?
I think that the pushback is broader even than just here in the United States. I mean, as I do hits in London and around the world, they're getting the same kind of pushback against woke and DEI that we're seeing here. The other thing is, when you go back to where we started talking about the media, at the church service just before Trump headed over to visit with the Bidens and have tea, you had not just Elon Musk sitting in one of the front rows, but you also had Bezos in attendance. You had the head of Google. You had all these big media icon guys sitting in church, again, genuflecting and sucking up to Donald Trump.
Of course. I'm
surprised
Elon
lightning
right
didn't strike.
There's Elon and what's his name? The CEO of Google.
There's Bezos.
I just saw Mike Pence before.
Yeah, walking.
There's RFK Jr. in the background.
Oh, there's Zuckerberg.
I mean, I thought the Mike Pence, that's got to be like an awkward stroll. That's like, it's like, I wish I were somewhere else right now. NTM, there's no place like home.
Why is Mike Pence there?
Well, it's because tradition and historic. I mean, again, it's class. It's interesting. Michelle Obama is on vacation, extended vacation in Hawaii. She's not in town. So some people just can't rise up to the occasion.
That's petty.
Yeah, no, Mike Pence is obviously, I mean, I'm also thinking about what happened on January 6th. It's got to be awkward for him, for sure. But it's like, he's obviously a student.
Nothing happened to him on January 6th.
He's a traditionalist. He's an institutionalist. He wants to follow the rules.
Was it like AOC claimed that she was almost murdered on that day? Right. She wasn't even at the Capitol.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I was more likely to be murdered on J6 than AOC.
And I think Trump is going to start, his own pardons here later this morning as he starts pardoning some of the J6 folks. Interestingly, the Capitol Hill police officer who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt on January 6th was also given a pardon. They didn't even investigate the guy. Really? They didn't punish him. He apparently was also given a pardon after he committed murder on Capitol Hill.
Wait, is that a bra situation?
That's a bra. Lauren Sanchez, the fiance of Bezos, is literally wearing a suit jacket with a bra.
Her boobs are sticking out. What? Okay, that's...
Are we on Pornhub or are we on your show?
I know.
C-SPAN is the new Pornhub. Very quickly, we've got like a minute to go here. I can't believe I'm seeing what I'm seeing.
There's like
maybe I'll stay
and bras.
Jeff Bezos, maybe you can maybe Amazon can, you can order some clothes for your future wife. Anyway,
right.
What? Okay, inaugural speech. What do you expect? George W. Bush. I never liked him before he said this. That's the only time I liked him. But he said about the first Bush inaugural, well, that was some weird shit. Are we going to see some weird shit today? Or is it going to be what kind of speech are you looking for?
First of all, Ted, I think we've gone from inaugural to inaugural as we're ogling Bezos's, squeeze. I think Trump's going to give a more forward-looking speech than I think some people are expecting. I think it's going to be, it's Donald Trump 2.0. He's coming in with more experience. I think he's going to let his administrative people speak more than him a lot of these occasions. And I think he now recognizes that personnel is policy. He's putting people in place that he knows will advance his policies. Unlike the first time where you had people that were backstabbing, pulling the rug out from under. I think it's a different Trump taking office.
And there's still got some neocons there.
There's Hillary.
Right? He still has some neocons to deal with.
Yes. But I think, again, he's better prepared to do it, and he has put more of his own people in place And I think it's not just at the top, but those second and third positions in the different cabinet agencies are also going to be filled with more people who are there to advance his policies rather than their own agenda.
Yeah, I'm going to say today the party starts, for better or worse, whether people like it or not. The party starts, and I think we're going to. Maybe I'm just projecting my hopes, Steve, but him going in as a lame duck, and as the title of today's show would imply, do you view this as a lame duck session? So nothing is going to change, or is he going in as a lame duck wrecking ball?
I think wrecking ball, but I think he's got a narrow window. He's got about 18 months till people really start focusing on the midterms, start focusing on who's going to run next.
I'd say 9, but
yes. A little bit longer, but again, you're going to also have turnover coming in about 2 years as people realize he's not going to have a second term. So people are going to come in. Look, in the first term, he went through 3 secretaries of state. Yeah, he did 3 secretaries of state in the first 4 years. So I think you're going to see turnover. I think the biggest challenge for the Republicans, and we'll need to talk about this some other time, who follows him? He is a once-in-a-millennia politician. He has pulled together a coalition. Is it sustainable? Can J.D. Vance hold this together?
Right.
It is a populist Republican Party under Trump, not the elitist, typical Republican Party. Can anybody vote with
populism tends to be a cult of personality, whether it's
right. I mean, I don't know that J.D. Vance is the guy, the heir apparent. I'm not sure. I
understand the wisdom of the choice. I think, look, honestly, it could be like a Raul Castro situation where it ends up looking good after the fact.
Yeah.
I think,
guys, I appreciate you. We'll get back. We need who can come next after Trump.
Let's do it.
Hold it together.
All right, Steve. That's a date. We'll book
Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Thanks,
so good
guys.
to see you again.
You.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye, Steve. All right. I'm going to.
Whoop. I lost. I didn't do it. Ted abandoned me mid-show, or towards the end of the show. I'm gonna pop up. There he is. I'm gonna. Ted,
I pushed the wrong. I was using my new trackpad on my computer, and suddenly I had my subway schedule up instead of you, and I was like, "That's not really good." But I wanted to. I should outro Steve. He was the attorney. He is an attorney and the CEO of Gill Media, a Nashville-based public affairs media and marketing company who also served as director of intergovernmental affairs for the U.S. Trade Rep, and of course, he was the former co-host of the Final Countdown. Manila, I got to ask this question. I know you're thinking about it. Sputnik, is it coming back? What do you think?
Sputnik, RT. Okay.
All the stuff that was banned by Biden.
I know. I'm going to I'm going to pull up producer Robbie too, because I know he's got some opinions. So we can all talk about it. Have a good time here. There's producer Robbie.
There he is.
Howdy.
So, okay. So with the Sputnik thing, the RT thing, I may just be, I'm trying really hard to separate my projections from my actual predictions. And while I am hopeful that he winds down the Ukraine war, that's going to be first and foremost. And that's, the return of Russian media, or a free media more broadly, is going to be predicated on the war coming to an end. I really firmly believe that. And it's not going to end tomorrow, like Trump says. I think he will unwind some of those sanctions that have put us into the unemployment line. I think those sanctions will get unwound. However, it's going to take a little while to get banking back to normal, to reintegrate Russian systems back into the SWIFT system. Getting just the banking part alone is going to take months, right? Just to unscrew all the different wires and ties from this bank and move to this bank, and that we're talking hundreds of entities that are involved on the back end. Not just like in the front facing, camera facing end, like people like me, people like you. So I think I'm hopeful that it's in a couple of months. I don't expect it to happen that quickly, but I think ultimately, Trump will free the media, because look, it wasn't it was the media that censored Trump. Trump, for as much as the media says he's, this fascist and he's going to come scoop up Rachel Maddow by himself under his armpit and drag her out in a headlock and put her in a camp. None of that happened. We've already seen 4 years of that. It's not him doing this to the media. It's the media doing it to him. I think he has proven that with as much BS talk as he puts out there, tough talk, he's a believer in free speech. Even though he says, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, he never comes through. He's just hot air and he's venting. So I do think he's going to bring back all these foreign media entities, and perhaps will be employed, hopefully sometime by this summer, Ted. I hope.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Nope, for a couple of reasons. One, look at the people who Trump is surrounding with right now as we speak. Trump ran as a populist. I'm sorry, you have Jeff Bezos on your arm. You have his side piece showing her boobs right there on TV. You have Mark Zuckerberg. You have Elon Musk. What about that? What about that says populism? The people here where I am, we're concerned about the cost of eggs. We're concerned about the cost of gas. We're concerned about the cost of bread. And you got this orange bastard who's talking about running up $4 to $6 trillion of new debt because he wants a big, beautiful spending bill. He is going to screw the American people. The people who put him in office, he is going to give us the big middle finger, and he's not going to do a damn thing about the people who censored him or anything. That's my take.
I don't know. I mean, I take your point for sure, Robbie. I mean,
the Russians are big business. Remember?
I mean,
look, oil, LNG.
Well, that's true. And I'm just say this real quick, and then I'll jump off and let Ted talk. Here's the thing: if Trump thinks he's going to bully Putin, Putin is going to tell Trump to fuck right on off too.
I think Mark Trump wants to bully Putin.
Well, I don't think that either.
Well, here's the thing: can Trump give Putin what he's asking for? I think Mark Sabloda is right. I think that Putin's going to push all the way to the Polish border. I don't think Trump can stop that. I don't think
Putin wants that, and 100%. I don't think Putin wants all of Ukraine. He wants the Russian areas. He wants, he wants the Donbass. He wants to keep Crimea, and he's going to. We all know that's where this is going to end up. There's no question about it. Who wants what?
State waiting to happen.
But also, Putin's not stupid. He doesn't want to occupy. Even if, let's say, honestly, this is how strongly I feel about it. Even if somehow the Zelensky government completely crumbled and collapsed, and all of the Ukrainian soldiers ran west as fast as they could, the Russian troops would not move in to fill that vacuum. And the reason is they don't want to occupy enemy territory and have like guerrilla fighters and a restive population that hates them. That's not like Putin's bag. Russia doesn't currently occupy any hostile territory. It doesn't want to. It's like, it's everywhere where it is where most of the population wants them to be. So I think he just wants to get there's a few pieces of the Donbass that he doesn't have. He wants to get those back. That's it. That's what this is about. And there's going to be some land trades. And he wants to kick the Russians, the Yukis out of Kursk. And that's about it. There's not a lot of war aims. This war is pretty much settled on the battlefield. If I'm Trump, I have the same exact analysis that I do. And like he and Putin sit down, they call Zelensky. They're like, this is what's what. Zelensky, we all know Zelensky recognizes reality too. He's not an idiot. He's fronting a lot. He's an actor. So it's like, blah, 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 blah. So I think that's where this is. I think in terms of Sputnik and RT, I don't think that needs a settlement of the war to start to take place. I think Putin will say, I really need these sanctions to go away. And Trump will give that order and say, okay, make these sanctions go away. Now,
without the war
necessarily going away yet, I think it'll all happen at the same time ish. And but whether RT and Sputnik can, relaunch and whether they want to, that's a different question. But that's on their end. But I think there will be the ability to do that. Trump respects Putin. Putin respects Trump. That right there is all you need.
So do you? Where do you think?
In
Do
the
you think I'm
streets,
right?
let me just say, on the West Coast, to what Ted just said there, on the West Coast, the street slang for that is game recognized game.
That's it.
So
that's exactly it.
So do you think I'm right or wrong in terms of the populist right versus the elites? Who's
you
Trump
are
going to screw?
100% right. The question is, how's it going to play out? Right now, for sure, the billionaire elite country club Republicans, the old school, and new school tech gangsters.
Look at
those guys are riding high, and we see them today. And
there's Tim Cook right there.
You pointed all that out. Yeah, they're there, right? But Donald Trump knows who voted for him, and that's going to be reminded as time passes. They're going to be more and more important to him. And in the end, what can the tech guys really do for Donald Trump? He's not running money again. He doesn't need more money.
No, he doesn't, but the RNC does.
That's
true. Because here's what I think is going to happen. I think what they're going to do, they're going to try and play the same game that the Democrats play, okay? The Democrats always tell, let me use the healthcare phrase, marginalized, disadvantaged people. I think that the Republicans are going to do the same thing. You're getting screwed over. You need me to come fight for you. Meanwhile, I'm sorry. How's your cost of living doing for you? Is your rent cheaper? Are you able to afford your groceries? Are you able to afford your bills? What my question is here I am in my flannel shirt here in the middle of nowhere, Montana, where it's 5 below zero. What is Trump going to do for me? I think he's going to tell me to piss off, because he does not care about me.
Well,
the Republican Party cares about the money, and I don't think Trump gives a crap.
Well, that's going to be the big story, though, of this administration, is that big fault line. I mean, right now, the Democrats get to kick that can down the road, although it destroyed them in the last election. It's why their own fault line is why Harris lost. But there's going to be a reckoning. Right now, there's going to be the Republicans are going to stick together, because there's going to be a flurry of legislation and executive orders. A lot of stuff is going to happen. A lot of stuff is going to get done. Some of it surprising, some of it not surprising. I'm very curious to know what SOPs are going to be in it for the populist right, for the MAGA movement. I'm curious to know if there's going to be any kind of moves to try to, maybe go for the Bernie Sanders side of the Democratic Party and see if they can get some of those people. I'm suspecting probably not, but
if they're smart,
they should, but they probably won't.
Because I love Angie Wong and Steve Ugo to death. Y'all both know that. I think they're great people. But
me too.
But to say that there is not a divide in the MAGA movement is an abject denial of reality. There 100% is.
There's a divide. 100%.
And they have the Democrats. They don't ever throw an olive branch to their people. If the Republicans do that, they win in 4 years.
True.
If they don't,
no matter who takes the helm,
I think. Well, here's me personally.
It might not be a MAGA movement, but you'll still have a Republican Party.
Yeah, I mean, it'll depend, right? Because if you have someone that comes up and says, "Mr. President, you can't fight inflation by creating more inflation. You can't strengthen the dollar by weakening the dollar." If you start taking care of bread and butter issues.
But isn't that what Elon and Vivek claim that they're going to do? That Doge is going to, Elon is literally going to have an office at the White House. He's going to be in Trump's ear. I feel like he's like Mr. Populist. Elon is, right? And he's going to be like, this isn't good that you're going to expand the government. I'm here to cut it. That's what you put me in charge of. Like, what you're doing here is going to increase inflation. Or do you think he's just too out of touch because he's a gazillionaire?
The dude supports H-1B visas and driving down wages when we were in a hyperinflationary period. Elon Musk does not give a crap about Main Street. He cares about Wall Street.
True.
They are all out of touch, Manila. That's the thing. They are all out of touch. And that's what Angie's missing. And that's what Steve is missing. And as a right-winger, that's from able to reach across the aisle to a freaking communist who gets it, because the people who said they're my allies are completely out to lunch.
That's fair. That is
the
true.
H-1B visa
where am I wrong?
It's not like a massive part of the economy, but it's symbolic of so much, and it explains so much. It was like, dude, this is like when Elon Musk's like raging, I'm going to go to war over this. like, oh, dude, this is, you do not want to go to war over this. You just don't.
I was Vivek's biggest supporter, and he lost me when he said white Americans are stupid and lazy. I'm sorry, if he loses Ohio, it's because of his own big stupid mouth. It's that elitist attitude.
You're paraphrasing what he said. He didn't actually say that.
To hell he didn't.
Those were not the exact words.
It's close enough. Words, Manila. But I mean, that's what he said. That is what he said. He said that he couldn't find. He said, like, Americans are too busy. They're worshiping jock culture. They're not like worshiping nerd culture. In other words, nerd smart, jock dumb. And that they weren't studying.
Right, you guys.
And to get the best and the brightest,
white
aka
America,
not the dumb and the least bright.
But here's the thing. Here's where y'all, being cis white straight men, are re-adding the white people part to it. Does Vivek under no uncertain terms did he ever mention race? And it's because you guys live in white cis male bodies that you guys took that to mean. Like, well,
that's not
white
untrue, but it's also that is true. Those are the bodies that we live in. I'm only talking for myself here, not Robbie. But I know all us whiteys, we check in with the hive mind from the satellite that that Elon built. But like, we're not. I mean, but it is true that implication was there. I mean, if that implication had been about something that related to black people, we would have all seen that implication too. I mean,
I didn't see it that way.
That implication was there.
Oh, 100%. And here's the thing.
And white males feel really beleaguered. It's part of the reason Kamala Harris lost.
But that implies American culture is still, in fact, cis white straight males. And I don't view it that way.
That does not imply that at all.
That's what you guys are saying. You guys are saying what Vivek said.
No, Vivek is talking about
a slight on white dudes.
He's talking about importing workers from, brown countries like India and Pakistan, right?
Vivek and Musk are both talking about saying that the Native American population is too lazy and too stupid to do the work.
Right. Not the Native American. Caveat. Not the Native American population. The American-born.
I'm talking about legacy Americans. I'm not talking about.
He's saying U.S. citizens of all colors and shapes and sizes.
Correct.
Right?
American-born people. Sure.
Yeah. Of whom roughly half are whiteys, right? So we are the biggest ethnic group. So I don't really blame Robbie for taking it personally. He did say, I mean, it would just makes my blood boil, having been a STEM major at an expensive engineering school. I know that there are tons of brilliant, underemployed and unemployed STEM qualified, brilliant people right here in the US who can't get jobs, and they will tell you, do not take my word for it. Do a Google search. You will find all sorts of stories that will make your blood boil, of people who say that they were forced before they were laid off 3 months later to train their Indian or Bangladeshi replacement who was getting 60% of the pay, and they didn't have anything personally against them. This is a massive problem. It's not like this has happened one time at one asshole company. This is a systemic issue. And basically, you'd be a fool to major in STEM, given the fact that they're outsourcing these jobs. I mean,
it boils down to the paycheck.
In fact, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Vivek is correct about what he said, right? Let's assume that it's not true, but let's say hold on.
But let's parse these. Let's parse these two things out real quick.
Let me finish this. Let me finish my thought. So if Vivek is right, okay. So what's the message? All right. So you're 17 years old. You're trying to figure out. You're going to college. You figure out what you want to major in. So he's saying, well, you people are too dumb. So therefore, we're going to recruit foreigners. Well, if I'm 17 years old and a brilliant math student, which I was a brilliant math student, it's like, I might think, you know what, I'm not going to be able to get a job because they're going to import all these foreigners to do it. So I'll major in something else. This is literally disincentivizing Americans from majoring in math and science.
So what I was going to say is that we're arguing two different things and kind of confusing the 2 points. Is two things can be true at once: that H-1B visas bad for America, but also
rancid, disgusting.
but also American culture can also be bad. And I think that was the point I'm arguing. And I don't want to conflate the two, because yes, it can be true for us to say, yeah, there's no conflation. For me, it's that American culture, I mean, and if we look at it as white Americana,
but it's also not true that
it has grown to become toxic and very like me. It's
but
all
he was
me
being
first.
specific. Manila, he said like these companies can't find enough qualified Americans to do these jobs, and that's empirically untrue.
I think that most likely y'all probably both agree. Y'all see the work that I do here on the TMI show. I do a lot of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think y'all would probably agree that with my current job where I currently work, I'm probably one of those unemployed or underemployed Americans.
Yeah,
I'm probably be doing a lot more than what I currently am.
100%.
The barrier to entry is I don't have a college degree. Mm-hmm. I've never had the chance to get one. It will never happen. I will never own a house. It will never happen. The so-called American dream, I can never get. And the reason why I can't get it is because the inflation is so high because of all the debt, all the dollars government keeps printing out, destroying the purchasing dollar, the purchasing power of the dollar. The lifestyles that the two of you have, God bless you, I love you both. I will never get there. I've never had the chance. And there are millions and millions of Americans just like me who work their asses off, who root hog or die every single day, who never had a chance because you have a piece of paper. And because you have that piece of paper, those companies are going to keep importing other people from outside the country, either legally or illegally, to drive down their wages,
even
to increase their profits,
people like me and Ted,
complete screwing the middle class.
Well, even the people with the pieces of paper. That's
what is now the working class.
That's what we're saying.
And that's what us commies are about, class consciousness. If you know what class you're in, that's
and again, I'm not crapping on you
right there.
I hope that I'm not crapping on y'all. None at all.
No,
I hope that y'all know that.
I hear you loud and clear.
Yes, my question is what is Trump going to do for the people who turned out for him in Gary, Indiana? What is he going to do for the people who turned out in Louisville, Kentucky? What is he going to do for the people who turned out in these Rust Belt towns that are dying because all the jobs are gone? And those jobs are not gone because Americans are stupid and lazy and ignorant.
No.
They're gone because it is the model.
It was a policy. Deindustrialization was a bipartisan policy for 100%. Decades.
That began with NAFTA.
They plotted it. It didn't begin with NAFTA. NAFTA was the last nail in the coffin.
For the millennials and Gen Xers like me, and the millennials and the Gen Zers who are living it now, they can look to an immediate piece of history, immediate piece of legislation, which was signed right there by Bill Clinton. They just showed him on TV. He was the one. It didn't begin there. You're right. But he made it. He sealed the deal. He put the nail in the coffin.
That's exactly correct.
Bill Clinton did.
Yeah,
so
of course he did.
That's why the Rust Belt is the Rust Belt the way we see it now. And Detroit, to be fair, they're kind of coming back. I'll tell you from 10 years ago and what it looks like today. Good on them, but manufacturing is still not.
Yeah, a few pockets of brightness do not reverse the misery, the untold misery that gutted the places where 100 million Americans live. Right? It's like it was deindustrialization, outsourcing, the maquiladoras, the WTO. Basically, look, if something can be made in the United States, why are we not making it here and selling it here? There's no good reason. There just isn't. And if I get so papayas, they don't grow good here. So, let's import them.
Mangoes.
They don't grow. Although with climate change soon they'll be growing in Montana. But we definitely, I don't understand, for example, why we allow foreign cars in the United States. We have major auto manufacturers right here in the U.S. Why are our foreign cars even allowed to be sold? I wouldn't allow it.
So, again, these are the questions that Trump needs to decide. The Republican Party needs to decide that the Democrats walked away from working class people, 100%. They went to the Republican Party.
They became neocons under the Clintons. That's what happened.
But I completely agree. But
for
my
foreign
point,
policy, and then for business, Big money.
But the point that I'm trying to make is that the Steve Gills and Angie Wongs of the world need to realize is that the people the populist right who turned out and put Trump in office, they will not be there in 2 years or 4 years if Trump if Trump screws them over.
That's and the thing is, that sounds like an empty threat, Robbie. But
no, it's not empty.
I know it's true.
It is not empty.
And the reason I know it's true, again, it's empirical. These are people who didn't vote Republican or Democrat at all. They didn't vote before Trump came along in 2016. He got them registered and he got them to vote. People like that, they're like the Bernie voters. They don't just vote. That's why the Bernie voters did not turn out for Harris. They're not gonna. It's like these are people who vote if they like what they see. They're not going to compromise that much. They'll compromise a little, but they're not going to completely sell out. They'll stay home. That's all.
There's assholes like me that are Bernie, Stein, just any other third party voter until this one election. So maybe I would say this one election. The mainstream press tried to say the 2016 election was an anathema. This one is anathema, because there are people like me that actually was like, you know what? Hold my nose. Trump. Tick for Trump. That's what happened. I don't know if that's going to happen again in 2028. But before
it depends on what the Republicans do. Robbie, I agree with Robbie's analysis.
Before we get too far, I just want to say, because we're awaiting Trump walking in any moment now. So we've seen basically all the who's who walk in, the families.
Hey, so Jill's had some work done, huh?
You think? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Look, that she's got that Michael Jackson nose thing going on.
It's the blood of all the Palestinian kids that she's been drinking.
I don't know. No, I think she's had that nose for a long time. So if it was a nose
that's
job,
a new nose, a new smaller nose.
There's gigantic Baron Trump, head and shoulders above everyone. He is almost a whole head taller than his dad. But
imagine his view if he sits next to Bezos' girlfriend.
Oh my! Well, I've been distracted on and off because we keep seeing Lauren Sanchez's bra and her boobs. She's right behind the podium. There's Elon
staring at the ceiling.
So I just want to point out there are a few women who are noticeably missing, which is Michelle Obama. Their spouses, Michelle and Karen Pence.
I'll tell you,
gone.
The person who's the biggest
mother.
The biggest snub for me is there's no Thomas Massey isn't there. That's who Trump needs to embrace if he wants.
Is he not there?
Why is he not there?
I've not seen him. I've
just
been looking
because
at
we haven't seen him doesn't mean he's not there.
Well, I've been looking.
That looks like his head right there in the gray suit. Actually, that looks like
maybe.
That looks like Massey.
If he is, I 100% apologize. But I have not.
There's hundreds
of
people there.
Twitter
it's hard
stuff.
to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, that's members of Congress are right there. I'm pretty sure that was him in the gray suit, back of his head. I'm fairly sure he's there. But I mean, members of Congress, we're talking over 435 people, right? I'm sure there are going to be a few people that boycotted. The rotunda's huge. I don't know how closely they cram these chairs together, but this is, for better or worse.
Has there been been a rotunda inauguration before?
Yes, Reagan, 1985, his second term.
Because it was cold?
Cold.
All right.
Yeah. So, and also another weird, this is a TED thing, Snapple cap thing. Trump is the 47th president, but only 40 U.S. presidents have given inaugural addresses. You know why? No?
You got me.
I think. See? I'm stumping you this time.
Oh, I know why. Because of assassinations and stuff like
that. Yes. 4 U.S. presidents were actually vice presidents who ascended to office due to death or assassinate, like pneumonia, assassinated by pneumonia.
4 from assassination and then other things, right? I mean,
so other things.
4 just from assassinations, more than 4, right?
Ted, there's pneumonia tried to assassinate me.
So James K. Polk, right? There would be who else? But yeah.
Polk and Andrew Jackson are my 2 favorite presidents. Just put that out.
Truman.
Polk is office. Melania really does look.
Oh my God, Melania! She's Heisenberg.
What? No, personally, I like what she's wearing. I don't know. There's
so
Usha. Usha looks
strange. Great. Central Europeans are weird people.
But dude, she was a runway. She was a fashion model. Like this is very.
She was a catalog model. Okay, I mean,
no,
really.
she was not. No, she was not. She was like a legit like runway. I mean, she's hugely tall.
I don't know. I don't like the fact that you can't see her eyes, especially because she has really striking eyes.
Melania Trump is the only first lady in history with nude pictures on the internet.
That's awesome. Good for her.
With AI, though, you'll be able to get your rocks off to Hillary soon.
Oh my God, I want to see that.
Oh God, don't get that image out of my
head. Or Mike Pence's wife.
Oh. Ted, we were allies till just now.
That's disgusting. I can't believe that came into your mind even. Oh God, no. I would say Melania's
come on, you want to see those cankles up in the air? Oh,
Melania's outfit. Look, Ivanka's wearing a hat too. I think it's very
Nancy
British.
Pelosi would be interesting.
Oh, well, she was gorgeous. She was gorgeous.
She was young.
No, she was really gorgeous, for sure.
Yeah, she was really pretty when she was young. But she got the new set of cans about 4 or 5 years ago.
She should have. She never should have gotten the face redone, though.
The face has been pulled one too many times.
It's been bad. It's bad. Yeah.
But the
she looks like the guy did her face who did her husband's face.
Oh, I don't know. That's the singer guy. That's the opera singer.
What Pavarotti?
No, the one that
dead.
Trump really likes. This guy here is I don't know his name, but he's an opera singer that's gonna sing.
Oh God, really? I hate opera. Ugh.
Never been. That's one of the perks about being one of those uncultured.
Oh my God, it's happening.
No. I've never been to an opera. Never.
You're not missing a fucking thing.
I believe it.
So boring. Your best move if you're ever dragged though, bring a flask.
Yeah.
There are no opera houses.
I have a hairbrush one.
Now, if I ever come visit you in New York,
no opera.
No, please do not take me there.
I will not.
I appreciate it.
I hate musicals and I hate the opera. I'm not,
And I hate ballet.
My thing.
My daughter.
I fucking hate ballet.
My daughter made me go watch.
I love ballet.
Plays.
My daughter made me go watch Wicked with her, and I wanted to eat my chair. It was so bad.
I hate musicals. It's just not my thing.
Much.
Oh, here comes Joe. There's Joe and Kamala.
Big Joe. And Hakeem. Oh my God, Kamala's like, God damn it, this was supposed to be my day. It was supposed to be my day.
She's like, they told me I was gonna win.
Yep, it's true.
They really did. They really did tell her that she was gonna win, and they told their audiences, mainstream media, told the audience.
Is that Hakeem Jeffries'
so many people,
wife, girlfriend?
No. The same way that's not Kamala Harris's husband. I don't know. Mm-hmm. They're walking out with whoever they get paired with. It's kind of like at a wedding. You get paired with like groomsmen. You're like, hi, nice to meet you. I'm Manila. Don't think about it. I'm already married. Like,
by the way, so opera singers don't wear ties? Is that how that works?
Yeah, they need the whole like the
to expand for their chest.
I guess I need to do their little frog thing where they can just play with their throat.
Pelican,
or whatever.
Like a pelican.
He's a really like a ham hock looking guy. There goes the man, the werewolf.
He's not a werewolf.
JD Vance is not a werewolf. If anyone's a werewolf, it's him. Sorry.
Why does he wear eyeliner? Is my question.
That's sad that women think his eyes are pretty because he has dark eyelashes and light blue eyes.
It's the Irish Scotch thing. You should be able to identify with that, Robbie.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. Irish Scotch thing. It's like hill people from like Kentucky and Tennessee and
most Southerners of Scottish. No, most legacy Southerners of Scottish descent. That's why the rebel yell was so preeminent back in the war between the states. That's a Scottish thing.
That is a big thing, like there in the middle of the country. Yeah.
I did not know that. Well, his eyes, women. We're not saying that we think JD is handsome, but we do think.
Do you think he's wearing eyeliner, or do you think it's just sort of?
No.
My roommate
eyelashes.
I think he's wearing eyeliner too.
I think he's wearing eyeliner.
He is not wearing eyeliner.
Because he has very bright eyes. So if you wear that makeup, does that make him pop? I mean,
yeah.
that's
like, it's not natural. It's not like anyone's eyes. Just
no, there are so many men out there. And first of all, it's an established fact that men have better eyelashes than women. It's a cruel, ironic fact, but it's true. Men
this
have
is some
better
of that TMI
eyelashes than
that
women.
this is some of that TMI that people just come here to listen to.
That's right.
JD Vance is not wearing eyeliner. Klobuchar's back somewhere back there behind Schumer. Yeah.
Doesn't she have an employee to abuse?
Is she by herself? No, she's walking with the Speaker of the House. I got to tell you, man, Ed Schultz, if he can hear me today, forgive me for spilling the beans. So Ed Schultz, as much as she used to come on the show with Ed Schultz and they knew each other, he really hated her.
Oh, really? How come?
He hated because he says she was a nitwit. He says she's dumb.
Nancy?
No, Amy Klobuchar.
Oh,
there's Trump.
That's not exactly shocking.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's Trump. There we are. The audience cheers. But where is this audience? I want to know where this feed is in the audience. Like,
they're at the football stadium there in DC.
Are they inside or
they're
outside?
I don't know if they're inside or outside, but they're at the stadium.
So wait,
are they at Capital One Arena?
Let me understand this. So you get in your car, you drive a number of miles, you park in some crazy lot, and then you wait in a long line. You go through the security process. You find your seat, and then you watch a dude on television.
Yeah, on a nice summer day here in Montana, where people, where y'all are, Manila, are just crying. Here in Montana, it's just like, this is nothing. So they go there and go watch this dude who can't even be bothered to stand out
on
there.
TV.
Yeah.
I mean, you could watch this. This is like going to one of those rock concerts with 80,000 people, and all you can see is the Jumbotron. I'm like, I could just watch this on YouTube.
And save money.
So it's 23 degrees here, but with the wind chill, it feels like 10.
Wuss.
Y'all are nothing.
Oh, that's true. We're at 22. We're at 22 here in New York.
Let me see.
Same.
Yeah.
Let me see if y'all can see
We're
this.
a transient.
Oh,
good God.
Yeah, we're warming up. We're warming up. It was 5 below a couple hours ago.
Okay, yeah. I think they are inside Capital One Arena is where these people are. I can't tell. It's the AP feed.
By the way, Trump could win a lot of votes by just simply passing an executive order making it illegal for sports arenas to be named after corporations.
That's true.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though, we all talked about Red Note earlier. I'm loving it there. It's a fun little app.
Huh.
I never went to TikTok. I've been talking to Chinese people. So, oh, you one of those TikTok refugees? It's like, no. And I try to talk to them on the live chats, and they have a hell of a time understanding me because of the accent. That's great. So it's.
Oh, look up. There's the crowd is roaring for
Big Orange
Kamala
is here?
and Joe.
Oh.
No. The rotunda is roaring, not Capital One Arena. Hail to the Chief is being played.
Don't worry, Joe. You'll be back in the rotunda in no time, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
Facts.
Dad.
I wonder if him and Bill could be bunk buddies. Just like stack them.
Just throw them in the same box side by side. I mean, Joe's so skinny now.
Would they spoon each other?
Yeah,
Like
maybe do a 69 situation for maximum efficiency and dignity.
Who screwed the American people more?
Capital One Arena is booing.
Who are they booing?
Well, because Joe and Kamala just walked in.
Yeah, that's not classy. Gotta say.
But that's the arena. So.
Hey, my people ain't classy, Ted. That's just the thing.
Your people drove to watch TV?
My people didn't.
No.
But I'll tell you right now, though, my people and class, it's a foreign concept. Unless you're going to church.
A lot of neck beards in that crowd.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of neck beards.
J.D. Vance.
How do you know he's honorable?
See, when I think werewolf, I think like Eddie Munster, and he's not an Eddie Munster.
Tell me that dude ain't wearing eyeliner. You tell me he ain't.
Eyeliner.
100%.
100% he is.
You guys are haters.
It goes over well at the gay bar.
I wouldn't know. Never been to one.
He has pretty eyes.
Yeah, he's dreamy.
Usha
he does have
dreamy, but his eyes
he does have great eyes. It's true.
He has great eyes. Usha looks great. Look at her.
Usha is the Indian Melania.
Yep.
She looks fantastic. Dr. Vance.
She's a very attractive woman, no question.
I'm going to go and drop some breaking news right now. The next congressional election, I'm going to run against Ryan Zinke here in the 1st District of Montana.
All right.
I'm going to run against that bastard.
Let me design the poster.
And I got gray eyes. And I'm going to get myself some eyeliner.
Let Ted design the poster.
Oh, I'm 100% going to run against this guy. I'm 100% going to run against this guy.
All right, so here's my breaking news. I say JD Vance is bisexual. Bam, did that.
Why would you say that, Ted?
I think he is.
No evidence.
My bidar is tingling.
What? Just because he worked for Peter Thiel does not mean.
And he wasn't even thinking about that. Plus, he is wearing eyeliner.
He is not.
And he looks like the kind of guy who gets a twinkle with a certain kind of good-looking dude.
Hey, you guys are going to hate this. I think John Thune is a fairly handsome man.
Was Teal a sword swallower? I don't know nothing about the guy.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. He's like the first big Silicon Valley player.
He was outed by Gawker, and it pissed him off to no end, and that's why he financed that lawsuit against Gawker.
Oh.
Right. For Hulk.
Yeah. Although, frankly, I do think they kind of did him a favor, because who wants to live like that, really? But
yeah, but I mean, he wanted to do it on his terms.
He's right
to out anybody.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. If I were an editor, I'd be like, that's not our business.
Right.
I agree.
No, I think that's wrong. That's not our business to.
It's like who fucking cares who's fucking who, really?
Who's banging who? Like, it's not.
It's stupid. It's not news.
Yep, I agree.
I mean, 2025. Nobody cares.
No, I
said the man who just said that the vice president elect is bi, but
right. No, but it's an interesting.
But we don't have responsibility here of like a formal newscast, so we can just be irresponsible.
There's the big DJ. And the crowd goes wild at Capital One.
Here comes the orange man.
This is, I have to say, a remarkable moment. This is a man who's been convicted of 34 felony counts.
The hat.
He still owes E. Jean Carroll $500 million.
Got shot in the ear.
Another dude was hanging out outside his house's fence trying to shoot at him.
Waiting to snipe him.
Was it his
Democratic Party wanted to put him right now? The Democrats were, if they'd had their way, he'd be behind bars right now.
Look how big Barron
Fonnie
is.
Willis, that whole debacle. The classified documents case. I mean, we can go through the litany. The J6 case, the J6 impeached twice, right? Don't forget that. That's like a footnote in all this.
Over Ukraine,
totally out
over bullshit made
over Ukraine.
Shit. Right, not emoluments, which he 100% deserved to be impeached for, but it's insane. The whole thing. I mean, what this man has come back from politically to be where he is today. By the way, that's a good tie.
That's a nice tie.
Good eggplant color.
Ted,
I think Melania looks fire.
Trump looks like he's maybe been Ozemping it. Ozempicing.
Maybe RFK. It's the RFK effect, guys.
He's like deep in the kale.
Maybe. Look, I think Melania looks hot. She looks
No, you know what this is?
No, she looks like she's at a funeral.
Yes, Robbie. This is Manila. This is one of those things where she's wearing clothes. Like, how like women will be like, "Oh, look, I love her shoes," and all the guys are like, "Oh my God, they're disgusting." It's like. So this is like one of those, she dressed for other women, not for men. And women, I'm going to say a totally sexist thing. Women should dress for men should dress for women. Sorry, that's how it is.
Oh my God, no. She looks very haute couture.
Whoa, my God, it's Big A.
Classy.
AK is up there.
Big Amy.
Klobuchar.
There's Big Amy. Big Amy that Ed Schultz
What is she doing there? Why is she even there?
I don't know. Because Joe can't talk. He can't MC this.
No, but why her? Why not someone else?
Because he's good friends with Joe.
I mean, speaking of which, like, she's a man, baby. Our first transgender senator.
She kind of does. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, back to the dress code.
She's more man than I'll ever be.
I thought someone just used her face as a shovel.
You guys are horrible.
She may have had the guy who went after Mr. Pelosi.
Oh my God, you guys are terrible.
She looks like she got intimate with a frying skillet.
Oh God, Ted, I love you in a very non-gay kind of way.
Of course,
I play for the other team. I'm Team Memory Gland, so take this as you will. But I love you, brother.
There's not a whole lot of femininity in Amy Klobuchar.
No.
So
is she a tranny?
No,
I think she's a man, baby.
That's a biological woman. I've met her many times.
You verified this how?
You verified it how? Did you do the group test?
Did you scrape her DNA, 23andMe?
We know.
Steal one part of her hair helmet?
Girls know girls. That's just an unfortunate woman.
I told my son whenever he goes on his first date, he better grab it, make sure there ain't no package down there. Just telling you.
Well, with consent, of
course. That's what Trump got in trouble for. Remember in 2016 with the Billy Bush?
Well, hey, listen, I'm going to run against Ryan Zinke, not Thomas. So I ain't grabbing nothing.
Now, remember, no grabbing without consent. Antioch College rules.
Please do not teach your son that.
Grab your puss.
Please teach your son to verify the goods, but with permission.
Fair enough.
And it has to be in writing. By the time he's, a couple more years, when he's old enough to do that, you're going to need to get it in writing. A verbal confirmation is not good enough.
I'll have him recorded.
Won't hold up in court.
I'll have him recorded. Well, no, because you have deep fakes.
That's right.
So how's that going to work?
In writing, you see her. You take the video of her signing the document, wet ink. You have it. You need wet ink.
Do you think this was a poison pill? Like by putting Klobuchar up there first, the Democrats were figuring people would tune away from the inauguration because they worried that their screen might break or nausea.
Yeah, I really don't know why she's up there and not like Hakeem Jeffries or the Speaker of the House or like, I don't know why it's.
And also, I don't get it. There's some really hot ladies in Minnesota. Like, how did she end up?
Are there?
Oh yeah, they have that Scandinavian ancestry thing there.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been to Michigan, yes. Minnesota, no.
Michigan is the cheese curd belt, so people look like that.
Oh, so they're
like that's where Chris Christie is like, oh my! Everyone sees him at the mall, and they're like, oh my God, you look like you're starving. Have something to eat.
What?
They're huge in Michigan. They're like planetary.
Michigan or Minnesota?
Michigonians. They're like massive.
Oh, I guess not to the places I've been. I didn't know that.
I just want to tell y'all, the Rumble chat is freaking awesome. They love this conversation that we have about the gender verification.
Are you guys degenerates or what? Like,
I love Rumble. No, you got.
I'm reading it now. That's awesome.
Pet the kitty. Pet the kitty.
No, do not pet kitty. No, you need to get permission.
Only if you have a real cat.
No, I really don't understand what this chick is doing up there. But I'm just gonna say, people are gonna tune off from this feed because it's her on there. I'm gonna actually.
Yeah, she's been on there a long time. Give her like another.
I would much rather be looking at Lauren Sanchez's boobies.
Oh, me too, for sure.
Behind
we're in full agreement there.
Like I'm not feeling this.
I'm
gonna show.
By the way, up until now, I wasn't really seeing what Jeff Bezos saw in her. But now I'm starting to see it. Yeah.
No, they should have her emceeing the whole thing. Just stick her
up
there.
True.
At the National Building Museum. Is that
no? This is last night.
Buildings?
This is last. Yeah. What is that?
Do they put they put buildings inside a bigger building and they call that a building museum?
Buildings. Little buildings of buildings in the building. So this is last night's inaugural eve dinner, and you're pretty soon. I already scrolled through the video. You're gonna see like RFK sitting with Cheryl Hines, who looked fabulous. Like you said, Ted, we both love her. She's one of those rare women.
Do you think she's pissed at him for like his shenanigans?
Do you know what we're missing right now? We're missing Scott Stannis. If he was here on this panel, we would have a blast. This would be so fun.
True.
So I'm trying to see. There's Bezos. Yep, that's Bezos's head. I don't know who he's talking to at the dinner, but he's at the main table.
Do you think Jeff Bezos can grow hair, or is this like sort of a?
I don't think it's alopecia. No, I think it's a.
No, he's a lizard.
Every day.
Lizards.
He does look like he does have a
Usha.
certain gecko-like character.
This is last night. This is Usha with JD talking to Miriam Adelson, and then there's Bezos. And okay, where's the camera going? Yeah, there's RFK, and there's Cheryl with the gold belt. She looked fabulous, classy,
she looks great,
without her tits hanging out. Let me just say.
That's not fun.
That's
classy.
I mean, you're again, Manila, class for you and class for me are two very different things. I come from the redneck Riviera of the deep South on the Gulf of Mexico, where every summer, that's what you got. Then we moved up here to Montana, where summer lasts all of 2 weeks, and that's what you got too.
No.
So the rest of the time, everyone's just bundled up and frozen.
All right, so we're gonna keep this going into the speech, right? Or the
once Klobuchar goes away, I don't want to keep. And then there's this other lady. Here's what's happening. Here's the lady that none of us recognize. We don't know who she is. Now she's talking.
We call her Big Green.
I literally don't
she
know
look.
her
Oh,
face.
I mean, by the way, this original set of Star Trek called, and they want their costume back.
Yeah, this is not a good costume choice.
If I knew this human was here, I could have done a template with OBS with my green screen, and we could have just taken her body off of the screen, just had her just her head just flopping.
And by the way, what's with all these like Washingtonian ladies with the severe hairdos?
That's true. Well, so
like a little poof isn't bad,
Oh, you're saying because it's too wide?
It's too like not every hair is glued to its adjacent neighbor. Like lacquered. It's helmet head.
Well, that's the look. You're required after age 50 to have this hair in Washington, D.C., Ted. I don't know if you know that, but having been a resident in D.C. proper for many years, I had helmet hair.
You did?
I did. It was a requirement for Washington, D.C. Have you not seen Mayor Muriel Bowser? It was like a proclamation by the mayor.
Well, in that case, there's no choice.
Her hair. Haven't you seen the mayor's hair? We all had to imitate her hair. It was a proclamation.
By law.
I ain't saying nothing because it come across as very insensitive, and I need to be careful of our YouTube community guys.
Man, that's a big cross, man. He must be expecting vampires.
No, dude, he's a rapper.
What, this guy?
No, I'm saying because his big cross. The only big rappers wear giant crosses like that.
Oh, right. No, that's a big ass cross. Catholic priest doesn't have to have that. Or maybe he's planning to perform an exorcism.
Are they choir boys there?
Oh my God, Vance is going to run when he sees that cross.
Werewolves don't run from crosses.
Yeah, werewolves don't care about crosses.
From silver.
Just don't touch it.
Yeah, good point.
Wait, how do you kill a werewolf?
Silver
bullet. Oh, yeah. Right. And vampires are stake in the heart, a wooden stake in the heart.
Silver also works on vampires.
Yeah. Garlic.
Steak,
how shitty is that?
Cross, holy water. They've got
how shitty is that if you're a vampire?
Bring a vampire down. Sunlight.
Ted, how shitty is that if you're a vampire and like you succumb to fucking garlic?
Well, also vampires can't go in your house unless you invite them. So be careful about who you invite in your house.
That's true. Now, vampires have a lot more vulnerabilities than werewolves.
Oh, well, yeah, you just rattled off a whole bunch. So werewolves is just
But both of them can change, right? Both of them can shapeshift and fly away.
They can.
Wait, how does a werewolf fly?
It's a shapeshifter. It can become like a bird or whatever. be like, bye, see you, fuck you, bye.
Wait, no, I'm going to consult the Rumble Room because I know Well-Dressed Nerd is a nerd and he would know this on nerd culture.
Is that true, or can a werewolf only become like a wolf?
No,
/dog?
Werewolf is only, werewolf is like dog or person. Dog or person. I'm going to call on Well-Dressed Nerd for his nerd expertise.
The vampires can definitely transmogrify like into anything, right?
Yeah,
they can
but
become
a werewolf
like an ant.
cannot.
Yeah, they become rats and frogs, bats, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, to that. But yeah, werewolf
I don't think they can become anything, right? Like I don't think they can become like a raccoon.
No, only like what the early church considered like creatures of the night. So like
I would want to be like
rats,
a capybara.
Transmogrify into a capybara.
Now the Indians
or an orca.
Now the Indians around here, they have this creature they believe in that's called something like a wagyu. And they shapeshift and they eat people.
So that's it's like their version of a chupacabra.
Kind of, but it's a person. It's the spirit of a person, and it eats people. And that after it eats you, it can then shapeshift into your form.
Who the hell is this
family?
Oh, I recognize. He's
that's Billy Graham Jr.
Oh yeah, he does look so much like his father. It's crazy.
That's why I was like, oh my god, he's alive. No, wait, that's his son,
yeah.
Billy Jr.
We praise him and give him glory.
Man, Joe Biden's not looking happy right now.
No,
he
looks like he's about to cry.
Let us pray.
No, he just has resting bitch face.
Our Father and our God, thou hast said, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. As the prophet Daniel prayed, blessed be the name of God
Couldn't they
forever
take a
and
wider
ever.
shot than this? Like
For wisdom
they're
and
cutting out
might are
Trump,
his.
who's to the right
He
of Billy Graham.
changes the times and the seasons.
well,
He removes
Biden's crying.
kings.
That's why he's there.
He raises
I
up
think Biden
kings.
really is
He
breaking
gives
down.
wisdom to the wise
No,
and knowledge to those who have understanding.
Probably
Our
just
Father
nodding
today,
off.
As President Donald J. Trump takes the oath of office,
If he falls
once
over,
again,
we'll know for sure.
we come to say thank you, O Lord our God. Father, when Donald Trump's enemies thought he was down and out,
Oh God.
you and you alone saved his life
What?
and raised him up with strength and power by your mighty hand.
As a Christian,
We
I
pray
disagree
for
with
President Trump, that you'll watch over, protect, guide, direct him.
That he wasn't
Give him
saved
your wisdom
by
from your
God?
throne.
by the
I think-
on
act of God.
Well, there's
We
a
ask
very
that you would
specific
bless him
curse in the
that
Bible.
our
Whenever a
nation
nation
would be blessed
becomes
through him.
apostate or reprobate,
We also ask that you
then
would bless and
the
protect
Bible is very
Melania
clear that it
as
will
First
put
Lady.
women and
We
children
thank
as
you for
rulers
the
over it
beauty,
to
the
destroy
look
it.
and grace
I mean,
that she
Oh,
shows
well,
not
so
only
you're
to
saying
Off
we're
to the
there?
races.
oh, 100%.
the whole world.
2 minutes to go.
We thank you for Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and his wife
For
Lucia
Vance too?
and their young family. May he be a strength to President Trump to stand
I
beside
think it's great
him,
that
to
the
hold
Christian
up his
community is
arms like
reaching out
Aaron
to the
held up
werewolf
arms of
community.
Moses in the midst of battle.
This one
The
ain't.
prophet Samuel reminded the people, it was you that brought them up from the land of Egypt.
Oh, look, Biden's awake.
And he said,
He
no,
looked up.
stand still that I may
It's like,
reason
please
with
let
you
it be
before the
over.
Lord. So, Father, we take this moment to stand still, to remember the great things that you have done for this nation. Thank you for the protection.
Is
the
this when he
bounty,
pulls
the
out a
freedoms
Israeli flag
that
and
we
puts it
so
over the
enjoy.
podium?
We remember,
I want to see Biden
Keep
give
our eyes
like
fixed
Billy
on
Graham
you.
Jr. the rabbit
and
ears.
may our hearts be inclined to your voice.
I would
We
vote
know
for
that
Biden
America
if he
can
would do
never
that.
be great again if we turn our backs on you. We ask for your help, and we pray all of this in the name of the King of Kings, the Lord of
Do we
Lords.
want to keep
your
looking at Billy
Son,
Graham Jr.
my
or do we want to
Savior,
see last
and
night's
our
yeah, keep,
inaugural
keep it
Christ.
rocking.
Amen.
We got like
Yeah.
1 minute to go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, this is
for
fine.
noon official?
Justice Kavanaugh.
No, one of the things that
Now
I
that
got
here
to
we're doing
say.
the oath of office now.
Oh, I'll be
Okay,
quiet.
Kavanaugh's presenting it? No, I thought Chief Justice Roberts always does, like the Chief
Kavanaugh's
Justice.
doing it in conjunction with beer pong.
What? Wait, I don't understand. Oh no! Oh, he's gonna do JD Vance.
Oh. So that's really
Right, 'cause
weird.
we're
Like, right. So in between these two oaths, what happens if, like, say, there's a terrorist attack and JD Vance has just been sworn in, but Trump hasn't yet been.
The Vance becomes president.
Oh, that's true.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
The next minute is very crucial.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear.
I, James David Vance, do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance to the same.
And allegiance to the same.
That I take this obligation freely.
That I take this obligation freely.
Without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation.
Or purpose of evasion.
Or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge.
Nerd is confirming you, Manila.
Of the office.
Dog or person only.
On which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
Still in touch with my nerd culture.
Dog. So any canid?
Canine. All right, he just became Vice President Vance right there. Just like that. Now it's 12 noon exactly. So I guess this is where Big Don gets his formal swearing in.
And meanwhile, Heisenberg waiting to move a ton of meth.
I think she looks great.
She's psychotic.
Roberts to administer the presidential oath of office.
God, what's with all the? It's like a New York City subway here. All the people churning around. 42nd Street, next stop.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And so help me God.
So help me God.
Is Ivanka dressed like Che Guevara? Is that a beret?
I don't know if it's exactly a beret. It's not formal. It's a hat in that style, but it's not really a beret. It looks like a firm hat.
She looks like she's about to join the French Resistance.
I think it looks good though. That she and Melania both are wearing hats. I think they're the only women there wearing hats. That's one thing I really like about British culture is that when you go to formal events, you wear hair stuff, like whether it's a hat. Like when I went to the races, like I got to wear a big, thing. I've never done that before. I loved it. It was great. And I'm not like a girly girl, but it was very fun to wear. You see it on TV and you're like, well, this is fun. I've got like this weird thing on my head with a feather and I thought it was really, it classes things up a little bit. I like it.
Well, I just want to let you know, as y'all's official Russian bot, Putin bot, the master of misinformation, influencing elections one gamer, one pixel at a time, I have succeeded in taking over the presidential election and getting the orange man back in office. That's why I'm wearing my Putin bot gaming hat. I have succeeded.
So you're the one.
I did it.
Enormous Baron. Okay, Adrian in the Rumble chat says it's called a fascinator. I'm not sure if that's the thing that I wore to the races or if that's the type of hat Ivanka is wearing, because it's a very British thing. So I don't know why those two women that are major players in Trump's ear, why those two women
hats, strange esoteric headgear.
Exactly, because the other Trump daughter, Tiffany, who's Marla Maples' kid, is not wearing a hat. None of the other female Trumps are wearing hats, like the grandkids or anything. So I don't know. That's got to signify something. That's all. I don't know what, but something.
And one thing I need to point out real quick, I just noticed Ray over there on the Rumble chat. Ray C 2020 is a monthly supporter of the channel on Locals. So thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Yes, he rejoined. And I think he's right. Let the crying and gnashing of teeth commence. That is true. You know, you really can't take this to heart or personally, whoever is in office, because you have to remember that all of this stuff is a dog and pony show. And at the end of the day, it's not these men that are in charge. It's just,
well, that's true.
That's not how it works.
No.
As we've seen, as Joe Biden so viscerally pointed out for us, is that he's been, vacant. The Oval Office has been vacant for at least 2.5 years, and somehow the state continues. Yep. So, the president is more like the Queen of England, like just a figurehead at this point. I don't know if Trump's going to work that way, but.
Well, Trump's going to do what he's told, or he's going to get impeached. So, I mean, take that for what you will.
Or unalived.
Yeah, I mean, no, things happen. He is old. Falls happen. Their accidents happen all the time.
Pneumonia happens.
One Big Mac too many. I mean, who knows?
But then, well, Vance, does the state want Vance to ascend to power? The state clearly did not want Kamala to ascend to power.
I think the state did. I think that was that populist backlash we were talking about earlier. Trump won because of the TikTok vote. I mean, let's be honest.
Manosphere.
That is a huge part of it. And I think that's part of the reason why they went after TikTok trying to take it down. And why Trump initially he hated TikTok. All of a sudden he loves it.
Right.
It's because those TikTokers got his orange self elected. Now, I want to know if y'all remember back in 2016, we have that famous meme about the screaming libtard. I don't know. To this day, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but y'all know the one just screaming.
I know, with the short hair. Yeah.
Are we going to have
it's a woman.
I have no idea.
They, them.
I did not do the genital test. I don't know. But are we going to have a repeat? Will there be a new meme?
For this year?
Yeah. Like, is there going to be another libtard just losing their mind over Orange Man getting reelected?
Well, there's so many people who are losing their minds that their psychologists are reporting that they're giving advice to their clients about their Democratic clients about how to spend today, maybe self-care, go get a massage, don't watch the inauguration, don't read the news, maybe take a vacation, go to a spa.
Kidding me?
No, it's a thing.
What's like in New York, Ted, there where you are? I mean, what's the pulse on the street? I mean, are people indifferent?
I think people are indifferent. Yeah, they just
there's Kim Guilfoyle. Kim Guilfoyle, for you guys not in the know, so she and Don Jr. have split up, and Kim is going to become the ambassador to Greece.
Inexplicably.
Yeah. Wasn't Don Jr. playing tonsil tennis with another reporter and someone recorded it? And that's where they split.
I mean, the New Yorkers I know are very upset about what happened, but they're kind of like, they're just like, the inauguration, they roll their eyes and they're like, they're checked out. They're checked out.
Oh, well, okay. So I guess they do a whole performance thing. So this is only the second time in U.S. history in 248 going on 249 years, for second time in history that we have seen the inauguration actually happen inside the Capitol Rotunda. It's jammed packed to the gills. Trump's inauguration pack, or whatever they call it, for the party, for the ceremonies and everything else, is not controlled. By the way, they don't have to show receipts for what they're spending their money on. And it has outperformed, we'll call it a pack for the sake of argument, that inaugural pack has outperformed every other U.S. president, not only in history, but if we even look about, the last 15 years since Barack Obama happened, outperformed every other inaugural pack ever. Okay, here
we go. The president is coming up to we can now call him the president again.
The president.
Although, once a president, always a president. But yeah.
True. Let's see how long the speech goes.
I bet it'll be short.
Thank you very much, everybody. Well,
20 minutes, I say.
Thank you very
yeah.
much. Vice President Vance, Speaker Johnson, Senator Thune, Chief Justice Roberts, Justices
Speaker Johnson
of the United States Supreme Court, President
Even
Clinton,
he's reading those names,
President
he sounds sarcastic.
Bush, President Obama,
That's just
President
what he sounds
Biden,
like.
Vice President Harris, and my fellow citizens. The golden age of America begins right now.
What?
That's to be seen. Maybe for the elite.
He likes gold on everything.
From this day forward, our
He likes
country
gold
will
gilded
flourish
everything.
and be respected again all over the world. We will be the envy of every nation, and we will not allow ourselves to be taken advantage of any longer. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first.
I believe it when I see it.
First time for everything.
Our sovereignty will be reclaimed. Our safety will be restored. The scales of justice will be rebalanced. The vicious, violent, and unfair weaponization of the Justice Department and our government will end.
Do y'all think Zelensky is crapping a brick right now?
He should be.
And our top priority will be to create a nation that is proud, prosperous, and free. America will soon be greater, stronger, and far more exceptional than ever before.
Exceptional in what way?
I
Homelessness,
return to
drug
the
use?
presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success.
That's the Heisenberg part.
A tide of change is sweeping the country. Sunlight is pouring over the entire world. And America has the chance to seize this opportunity like never before.
Yeah.
But first, we must be
better not
honest
fuck
about
up the
the
rotation
challenges
around
We
we
need
face.
rotation.
While they are plentiful,
fuck with
they will
astronomy.
be annihilated by this great momentum that the world is now witnessing in the United States of America. As we gather today, our government confronts
Did
a
he have an eye
crisis
job?
of
His
trust.
eyes look bigger.
For many years, a radical and corrupt establishment has extracted power and wealth from our citizens while the pillars of our society lay broken and seemingly incomplete
Better
disrepair.
makeup today.
We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home.
His ear
while
healed
at
up
the same
good.
time stumbling into a continuing catalog of catastrophic events abroad. It fails to protect our magnificent, law-abiding American citizens, but provides sanctuary and protection for dangerous criminals, many from prisons and mental institutions that have illegally entered our country from all over the world. We have a government that has given unlimited funding to the defense of foreign borders, but refuses to defend American borders or, more importantly,
This is not a typical inauguration speech. This is a litany
our country
of
can no longer
grievances.
deliver basic
Typically,
services in times
an
of
inauguration
emergency,
speech
as
is more
recently
forward-looking and about
by the
what you plan to
wonderful
do.
people of North Carolina been treated so badly.
This is a stump speech.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
other
most
states
inaugural
who
addresses
still
are
suffering
disappointing.
from a hurricane that took place many months ago, or more recently, Los Angeles, where we are watching fires still tragically burn from weeks ago without even a token of defense. They're raging through the houses and communities, even affecting some of the wealthiest and most powerful individuals in our country, some of whom are sitting here right now.
Oh, I'm
They
sure.
don't have a home any longer.
They
That's
have many
interesting.
homes.
But we can't let this happen. Everyone is unable to do anything about it. That's going to change. We have a public health system that does not deliver in times of disaster, yet more money is spent on it than any country anywhere in the world. And we have an education system that teaches our children to be ashamed of themselves in many cases, to hate our country despite the love that we try so desperately to provide to them. All of this will change starting today and it will change very quickly.
I'm waiting to hear him say something about foreign policy, forward-looking foreign policy.
Forward-looking anything. Tell us what you're going to do.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
How does creating more inflation to spend to pay for tax cut enrich Americans? Ted, you used to be a banker. Explain it to me.
Glorious destiny.
That's going to be a long conversation.
And we will immediately restore the integrity, competency, and loyalty of America's government. Over the past 8 years, I have been tested and challenged more than any president in our 250-year history.
I don't know. There's some guy named Abe who might have something to say about that.
The way.
He deserved it.
The journey to reclaim our republic has not been an easy one, that I can tell you. Those who wish to stop our cause have tried to take my freedom and indeed to take my life.
Yeah, he went there.
Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt
it's not about him.
More so now that my life.
Yes, it is. No, this is his party.
I was saved.
This is his party, and he'll whine if he wants to.
Great again.
He should be telling the American people what he's going to do for us. I don't care about his ear. It looks perfectly fine to me.
My ear.
It healed up nicely. It healed up well.
Look, it's going to be entertaining as shit. It's so funny.
He should have had Brian.
Really good.
I'll tell you all the miss. He should have had Brian Thompson's widow up there to explain about the dangers that insurance CEOs are currently facing in this country.
We will be working to meet every crisis.
She didn't like her husband. Remember, they were separated.
I think
we will move with purpose and speed to bring back hope, prosperity, safety, and peace for citizens of every race, religion, color, and creed. For American citizens, January 20th, 2025 is Liberation Day.
Okay.
It's Independence Day, baby!
Oh, please tell me there are fireworks being shot somewhere.
That our recent presidential election will be remembered as the greatest and most consequential election in the history of our country.
That's probably
As
true.
our victory showed, the entire nation is rapidly unifying behind our agenda with dramatic increases in support from virtually every element of our society, young and old.
I really do like that tie. That is a nice
African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans.
Thank you, Asian.
Excuse me, feline Americans.
We had a powerful win in all 7
Well, he already saved them from the Haitians.
The popular vote
was won
by millions
obviously.
of people. To the Black and Hispanic communities, I want to thank you for the tremendous outpouring of love and trust that you have shown me with your vote. We set records, and I will not forget it. I've heard your voices in the campaign, and I look forward to working with you in the years to come. Today is Martin Luther King Day, and his honor, this will be a great honor, but in his honor, we will strive together to make his dream a reality. We will make his dream come true.
Is that where we stop judging people by the color of their skin and more by the content of their character? Is that where this part comes in?
If Trump keeps that promise, his presidency will be a success.
True.
National
the question is, can he?
Is now returning to
Will he?
America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence and unrelenting success. We will not forget our country. We will not forget our Constitution. and we will not forget our God. Can't do that.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Don't do it. Can't do it. That'd be bad. This guy's never darkened the interior of a church, though.
Executive orders.
Executive orders.
With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense. It's all about common sense. First, I will declare a national emergency at our southern border.
She's going to do it. Good. Put the army on the border with rifles. End it.
Although, frankly, there is no emergency now. Biden already slowed down the flow.
No. He just changed the definition of the flow.
Will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
Aren't they?
And he's going to say the depths of hell.
There aren't millions
Remain
of criminals.
in Mexico policy. I will end the practice of catch and release.
Sport fishing? You got
I will send troops to the southern border.
Billy Big Bass,
The
Big Mouth Bass
disastrous
stays on
invasion
the
of
wall.
our country. Under the orders I signed today, we will also be designating the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
I have a question for you, Ted. Remember how you told us about those Ganges, those sharks that swim up the Ganges River there in India? Can we just import them and put them in the Rio Grande and then just let them swim up the river?
You probably could. I don't know if they would. I don't know if they'd survive or not. But I don't know if the water would be okay for them.
Well, they're not surviving where they are, so let's give it a whirl.
That's true.
He wants it to be able to attack the people.
I think we need them in the Potomac more, but
use both.
No, they'll just die and mutate.
Of all foreign gangs and criminal networks, bringing devastating crime.
If you put anything in the Potomac, if it manages to survive, and this is like, I'm not even exaggerating, there are there's marine life that they've pulled out from the Potomac that have had very weird, like, genetic changes to them. They're toxic. It's a toxic sludge in the Potomac. So,
we will do it at a level that nobody's ever seen before. Next, I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal.
And this is really not an inaugural address, just saying.
Record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices.
How? How do you do that whenever you keep putting dollars to pay for tax cuts?
The inflation crisis was caused by massive overspending and escalating energy prices. And that is why today I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
What about standalone spending bills and no more omnibus spending bills? How about that?
No, House Speaker Johnson has those locked up.
Trump cannot sign it. Shut the government down.
America will be a manufacturing nation once again, and we have something that no other manufacturing nation will ever have, the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we are going to use it.
No, that's not true.
Use it.
Kazakhstan has the most, followed by Saudi Arabia.
We will bring prices down.
Followed by
our strategic reserves up again, right to the top,
Turkmenistan,
and export American energy all over the world.
I wonder if Trump is planning on annexing Venezuela.
We will be a rich nation again, and it is that liquid gold under our feet.
You're already a rich country. The problem is how the wealth is distributed.
With my actions today, we will end the Green New Deal, and we will revoke the electric vehicle mandate, saving our auto industry.
Elon's not going to like that.
Sacred pledge to our great American auto workers.
Elon's going to be mad about that one.
Mm-hmm. Screw him.
In other words, you'll be able to buy the car of your choice.
Unless it's electric.
We will build automobiles in America again at a rate that nobody could have dreamt possible just a few years ago. And thank you to the auto workers of our nation for your inspiring vote of confidence. We did tremendously with their vote.
He just didn't write an inaugural address.
I will immediately begin the overhaul of our trade system to protect American workers and families. Instead of taxing our citizens to enrich other countries, we will tariff and tax foreign countries to enrich our citizens.
How?
Go back the way that it was, where the government was funded with tariffs and not the income tax.
We are establishing
There's not enough money in tariffs.
External Revenue Service.
Not till
To
now.
collect all tariffs, duties, and revenues. It will be massive.
It's less than 1% of federal revenues. I mean, even if you did that,
coming
you
from
just,
foreign
I mean,
sources.
forget about the
American
inflationary
dream will
aspect,
soon
which
be back
is
and thriving
significant.
like never before.
It's like literally just not
To restore
possible
confidence
economically.
and effectiveness to our federal government. My administration
I'm
will
pro-tariffs,
establish the brand
but-
new Department of Government
Here's
Efficiency.
Doge. Ted, he's already gone over 20 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
I thought it would be long. I was
you were
going
right.
long, like very long.
After
you can
years
tell
and
from
years of
you can
illegal
tell from
and
his
unconstitutional
vibe.
federal efforts to restrict free expression, I will also sign an executive order to immediately stop all government censorship and bring back free speech to America.
Please, freedom of the press.
So does that mean
Nice.
RT? Does that mean the RT and Sputnik come back?
That's not quite, because those are sanctions.
Not
Those are
quite.
international sanctions.
But
It's adjacent to
that-
it.
it's a step in the right direction for sure
True.
that he brought it up in this
Never
speech.
again will the
Agreed.
immense
It's
power of the
signaling.
state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again. Under my leadership, we will restore
Not
fair,
happen.
equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law.
Why are his
And we
inner
are
ears
going
so
to bring
shiny?
law and order back to our cities.
About jobs.
This week, I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private
Thank
life.
God.
I don't know that there's much we can do about that.
We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based.
I've never understood the whole idea
As
about
of today,
colorblind. I know my wife is black.
It will henceforth
I see it every
be the
day.
official
I don't understand the whole
policy of the
colorblind
United States
thing.
government that there are only
I
two
think the idea is
genders,
supposed to be
male
that, you know
female.
she's black, but that people would
Doesn't
not
matter.
hold anything against her or view her differently or as
Right.
lesser or as greater because of her skin color.
This week, I will reinstate any service members who were unjustly expelled from our military for objecting to the COVID vaccine mandate
Wow.
with full back pay.
Wow.
That's correct. That's the right thing to do.
100%.
I was highly vaccinated,
That's
but
great.
vaccine mandates are
And I
evil.
will sign an order to stop
That's
our
great.
warriors from being subjected to radical political theories and social experiments while on duty.
Good.
It's going to end immediately.
Good. I can
What is
get
he
with
talking
that.
about?
Your
Like
whole
all of
DEI
the
program.
Forces will be free
get
to
into the
focus on
military.
their sole mission, defeating America's enemies.
Who are? Is he going to enumerate them here?
Well, it's Iran, of course. Israel says it is.
That's why. Let's wait and see. I think he's getting into foreign policy now. He's at the 25-minute mark at this point.
Like in 2017, we will again build the strongest military the world has ever seen. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
Okay, I like that. I thought he was going to say, most importantly, the wars we start.
About to start.
I can get with that.
Although the idea that the military is depleted is a joke.
Yeah.
My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I'm pleased to say that as of yesterday, one day before I assumed office, the hostages in the Middle East are coming back home to their families.
What about the Palestinian hostages? They get to go back home too?
Some of them.
He has to say those things because Miriam Adelson is sitting right behind him, and he could feel her laser eyes staring at him.
America will reclaim its rightful place as the greatest, most powerful, most respected nation on earth, inspiring the awe and admiration of the entire world. A short time from now, we are going to be changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and we will restore the name of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should be and where it belongs.
Wait, we stopped calling Mount McKinley Mount McKinley?
Yeah, it got renamed to some kind of DEI name.
Oh, like Mount
President
Yukon
McKinley
or something?
made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal.
I'm going to switch views.
Of a great president, William McKinley, to Mount McKinley, where it should
Hold
be.
on. I thought they were going to have a better. They had a wide shot on C-SPAN, different shot than 8. There we go.
President McKinley made our country very rich through tariffs and through talent.
That was
true. He was a natural businessman and gave Teddy Roosevelt the money for many of the great things he did, including the Panama Canal, which has foolishly been given to the country of Panama after the United States. The United States, I mean,
He's right there. That was the dumbest thing ever
spent on a project before and lost.
Didn't Carter give it back?
Yeah, for $1, which is completely retarded.
We have been treated very badly from this foolish gift that should have never been made. And Panama's promise to us has been broken. The purpose of our deal and the spirit of our treaty has been totally violated. American ships are being severely overcharged and not treated fairly in any way, shape, or
they keep
form.
jacking up the
And
transit
that
fees.
Includes the United States Navy. And
Well, you know, that's what Ukraine did to
Panama
Russia.
Canal,
Yeah,
and we
but
didn't
the thing
give
is,
it to China.
we built
gave it
the
to
Panama Canal. That's the
and we're
difference. I mean, that is one thing I completely support going in there taking the canal back. We built it. It belongs to us. That
I guess my point to that is that's part of why Ukraine hated Russia so bad, is because Russia decided to go in and make the second Nord Stream.
What did I miss?
You got coffee or cream right here.
It is time
Right
for
here.
us to once again
What did I miss?
Or whatever you ate.
Trump's talking about taking back the Panama Canal.
Greatest civilization.
The Gulf of
As we
America.
liberate our nation, we will
Panama Canal is
lead
going to
it
be ours
to
again.
new heights of
Panama.
victory and success. We will not be deterred. Together, we will end the chronic disease epidemic and keep our children safe, healthy, and disease-free. The
RFK.
United States will once again consider itself a growing nation.
Oh, we're growing.
One that increases
Growing
our
wide
wealth, expands our
or
territory,
economically?
builds
It's
our
a
cities, raises our expectations, and carries our flag into new and beautiful horizons. And we will pursue our manifest destiny into the stars, launching American astronauts
Manifest destiny.
to
Is
plant
this
the
where we're going to
stars and
Greenland?
stripes on the planet Mars.
Wait, we're taking Mars now?
Oh yeah. Fuck those Martian fucks.
I thought we're just trying to take Greenland. Now we're taking Mars?
It's all about making America great. Is that you have to spend money. You can't rebuild your cities and things. You have to do other things. Barron looks so bored.
Tucker
There's
Carlson,
Tucker.
look at that.
Is the lifeblood of a great nation. And right now, our nation is more ambitious
Look at Kamala
than
and
any
Joe.
other.
I think
There's
Joe's
no
asleep.
nation like our nation. Americans are explorers, builders, innovators, entrepreneurs, and pioneers. The spirit of the frontier is written into our hearts. The call of the next great adventure resounds from within our souls. Our American ancestors turned a small group of
30 minutes
colonies on
in,
the edge of
he's still
a
talking.
vast continent into a mighty republic of the most extraordinary citizens on earth. No one comes close.
Yep. And we didn't
Americans
colonize it.
pushed
We conquered it.
thousands of
There's a
miles
difference.
through a rugged land of untamed wilderness. They crossed deserts, scaled mountains, braved untold dangers, won the Wild West, ended slavery, rescued millions from tyranny, lifted billions from poverty, harnessed electricity, split the atom, launched mankind into the heavens, and put the universe of human knowledge into the palm of the human hand. If we work together, there is nothing we cannot do and no dream we cannot achieve. Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback.
And
but as you see
historic.
today, here I am. The American people have spoken.
And that's true.
Fair, though. Historic comeback is
Oh,
fair
that's very
thing.
true.
There's Tim Guilfoyle, our ambassador to Greece.
I stand before you now as proof that you should never believe that something is impossible to do. In America, the impossible is what we do best.
I mean, this is like a positive sounding speech here, this portion.
From New York to Los Angeles, from Philadelphia to Phoenix, from Chicago to Miami, from Houston to right here in Washington, D.C., our country was forged and built by the generations of patriots who gave everything they had for our rights and for our freedom. They were farmers and soldiers, cowboys and factory workers, steel workers and coal miners, police officers and pioneers.
They were editorial
who
cartoonists.
pushed onward, marched
they were
forward,
podcasters.
and let no obstacle defeat their spirit or their pride.
Journalists and news anchors.
Together they laid down the railroads,
Rednecks.
raised up the
Veterinarians.
skyscrapers, built great highways, won 2 world wars, defeated
Do you hear
fascism
someone
and
yelling?
communism,
It's my wife.
and triumphed
Oh.
over every single
I thought, wow, someone
challenge that they
protesting
faced.
inside the rotunda?
After
No,
all we have been
that's
through
that's
together,
Kizzy.
We stand on the verge
She's calling
of the
Trump a
4
liar.
greatest
As soon as this
years
speech
in
is done,
American
I'm out.
history.
Yes.
With your help, we will
I had to do an
restore
interview with JT
America's
this morning.
promise,
So
Oh.
and we will rebuild the nation that we love, and we love it so much. We are one people,
I'm
one
overdue to
family,
make
and
lunch.
one glorious
I'm
nation
hungry as
under
shit.
God. So to every parent who dreams for their child and every child who dreams for their future, I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. They're going to win like never before.
I think you're right, Ted. He does look a few pounds lighter. Not a lot, but looks like he shed a few pounds.
Ozempic's a miracle drug.
I do think he's using it.
Thank you.
Yeah, he does look a little
In
thinner.
recent years, our
His
nation
eyes,
has
his
suffered
eyes look
greatly,
bigger,
but
right?
we are
Like
going
taller.
to bring it back and
Well, if
make
you
it
He's
lose
always been a
weight,
bit
again
squintier.
greater than ever before.
No, that's just a
We will be a
scowl.
nation
You're
like
used
no
to seeing
other,
the
full of
scowl.
compassion, courage, and exceptionalism.
But when you do
Our
lose
power
weight,
will
your
stop all
the
wars and
hollows of
bring a
your
new
eyes
spirit of unity to
increase
a world that has
because
been
the
angry,
fat
violent,
moves.
and totally
so you're
unpredictable.
The fat under your
Alright.
eyes.
America will be respected again and admired again,
He already said that.
including by people of religion.
Just a quick
faith, and
shout out
goodwill.
for those of
We
you who
will
are
be
on Rumble. If y'all
prosperous.
please jump
We will
over to
be
the channel's
proud.
YouTube channel.
We will be
We
strong.
are
We
2
will
away from
win like
400.
never before.
So if y'all could go
We
drop
will
us
not
some
be
subscribes over
conquered.
on
We will
YouTube,
not
we'd
be
appreciate it.
intimidated. We will not be broken.
Good job, producer Robbie.
We will not fail.
Yes, we
From
need
this
some
day
help on the
United States of
YouTube
America
side.
will be a free, sovereign, and independent nation. We will stand bravely. We will live proudly. We will dream boldly, and nothing will stand in our way because we are Americans. The future is ours, and our golden age has just begun. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you all. Thank you.
7 minutes or so?
36, 37 minutes.
Thank you very much.
And I gotta say, he has stayed on script. But he stayed on script. He didn't go off the cuff like he normally does. So that to me is proof in the pudding that, oh gosh, what's the lady's name that is his new chief of staff? The lady, she's wearing white. She's right up front. Not her. Oh gosh, what is her name?
You mean that old lady?
Yeah, the old lady that's now his chief of staff. She has been with him forever at Mar-a-Lago. But from what I understand, she's really cracking the whip on him and making him stick to the script.
He should have hired Angie. He should have hired Angie Wong. Just saying.
He should have hired. No, that's true. He should have also hired a professional speechwriter because, man, whoo,
that was not yet.
What a dog! I mean, that might be good. I haven't read them all, but that's got to be one of the worst. Absolute one of the worst, most disappointing speeches in inaugural history. Yeah, I mean,
it was too much hope.
It was a dog. It just
too much expectation, Ted.
Well, I mean, it had no soaring oratory at all. It literally was just, as Robbie said, it was a campaign. It was a stump speech. He just repeated the same old shit.
Carrie Underwood there.
I'll tell you what,
superstar. She looks great.
After I defeat Ryan Zinke, because I'm not an orator, I'm going to use ChatGPT or Gemini to generate my speech, and I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to go up there. I'm going to say, "Screw you, Ryan Zinke, you're out." That's it.
I would like that. Are they having a problem queuing up Carrie Underwood's music?
Who's this blonde lady?
Carrie Underwood, the country superstar. Carrie Underwood.
I never heard of her. Sorry.
You ain't missing nothing.
Yeah.
I think she was American Idol or one of those shows.
Oh, really?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, many years ago.
It's going to be time. Inshallah, go with God, but I am going to be bowing out as soon as she starts yelling.
I think she sings the last thing, and that's it.
And that's all.
But why aren't they queuing her music?
Maybe she got copyrighted.
It's copyright doesn't matter. It's her music.
I'm saying maybe she did it. Kind of like what Taylor Swift does.
Oh, lip sync?
Hell, I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up. I don't know. You're the.
No, I think Carrie Underwood actually sings.
Yeah, she can't Millie Vanilli this shit on during the inaugural.
Oh, you sure try.
Oh, beautiful.
That's not lip sync.
No.
She's just going a cappella.
That's Drowning Cat.
I bet the acoustics are a little tough in there. It sounds echoey.
Stone. Yeah, but she's a pro.
Well, she probably got to go in there and practice, I would imagine.
Yeah. She's going a cappella. She waited for that music and she was like, fuck it, we're doing it.
One thing I wish that they would do when we sing America the Beautiful like this, no one ever sings the second verse, and I wish that they would, because it's better than the first. If you've never heard it, look it up.
All right, I'm out.
All right, Ted.
You guys sticking around?
All right, now we're wrapping this up. I got people to feed like a small one. Yeah, I'm hungry. Yep. Everybody's hungry. It's late. Trump talk forever.
My kid's hungry too. We gotta go.
Oh look, I gotta say that is impromptu. That she decided we're going a cappella, and then like the chorus from, I think it's the Air Force. Do you know this, Ted? The Air Force chorus. There's a title for them, but anyway, I don't know it. But anyway. So that's going to be it, guys. We're going to call this a day because we saw it happen, and there's the lady from Star Trek.
Are you going to leave the stream going, Manila, or are you going to end it?
I think we've been on long enough because we saw the official inauguration. Nobody cares about this lady from, wearing a Star Trek costume. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what's happening.
I don't think she was from Risa. Just saying.
I don't know what.
Because the reason why I was asking, if you want to leave it running, you can just do the jaws. That way I'll know where to stop it. And then I can just rip if you just want to keep it going. But it's entirely up to y'all. I don't care either way.
Yeah.
Let's ask the Rumble Room. Hey, are y'all going to keep this thing up or end it?
Is this a lawyer from the ADL or I don't know. I think this is enough.
Yeah,
we
you
saw
see
all
the
the
universities up here in Manhattan, northern Manhattan, and it is a very Zionist school, unsurprisingly.
No, that works. Go ahead and shut her down, and I can get the rerun scheduled.
Yeah, I think we're shutting this down. I think we saw all the important parts. Now all the second and third string players are coming to bat. They're getting their chance.
Right.
So that's it.
Bye, guys.
Welcome back,
Bye,
Washington. Adios, Ted. Ted's out of here. I'm gonna tell everybody.
Leaving.
I'm gonna tell everybody to all the normal stuff when we say goodbye. That first of all, I thank you guys for being here for this ultra extra long show. We're obviously staying overtime because it's once every 4 years. This is a historic return to power for Donald Trump. So I thought it was newsworthy that we stay on air despite it being MLK Day. This only happens once every few years when it lands, the calendar, when it lands on the same day, inauguration, and it being MLK Day. So this is it.
Yesterday was Lee Jackson Day. So that was an important day for me.
Yes.
Just saying.
Son of the Confederacy.
That's it.
That's right. So we thank you for being here with us. Please be sure to hit the like and the subscribe button, no matter what platform you are on. If you are on YouTube and you're viewing and have yet to hit that sub button, please subscribe. We are trying to grow the channel and get ourselves up to that monetization level. So we need all the subs we can get.
And please share on Rumble, share on YouTube. Y'all have no idea how much that helps, because I kind of play on the back end. Whenever you click that like button, that's the equivalent of getting 20 to 25 views just by you clicking that one button. Oh yeah. And then a share, if someone shares the stream, it's the equivalent of getting like 50 or 60 as far as pushing you up in the algorithm. So it is incredibly important. Please, please, please do that. It costs you nothing.
Yes. So please help us that way. All you've got to do is just click a couple buttons, and that will really, really help our show and our stream get to where it needs to be. So Ted and I, in the event that we are not re-employed for, God forbid, but re-employed a few months from now, then at least we can keep doing this for you and afford to feed our families and pay our rents and all of that, and pay the cable bill to keep the interwebs going. But appreciate y'all being here, and that'll do it. Ted already bounced because he's starving and getting hangry.
Getting out.
Robbie and I, we got younger ones we got to go feed because they're home from school. So that's it. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful MLK Inauguration Day, and I can't wait to cover the international stuff, Robbie, of all these people flipping out in Europe, because
tell you what,
Macron.
I hope he pulls the plug on NATO. If he pulls the plug on NATO, that's a win. It's an even bigger win if he pulls the plug on NATO, brings all those soldiers home, puts on the Mexican border, and says, "Shoot them bastards." I'm good with it.
Well, I don't know about the latter part of that, but we can only wish the NATO plug gets unplugged. So, so pull the plug on that. Let it swirl down the drain.
Yep.
That's my wish for 2025, and then
I like it.
All else will fall into place. All right, thank you guys. We are ending this thing. Adios, amigos.
Bye,
See you
y'all.
tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, and people do like you, Robbie. So maybe you've got a future in broadcasting. Just saying.
Maybe.
Adios.
Bye, y'all.